evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans, Irongol Heavy Metal Championship fans. We have a wonderful match tonight. We have the Professor Davis being challenged by the Gambler Ragnarok. So this is the return of Ragnarok to the Irongol arena. It's been several months since we last saw Ragnarok racing in Irongol, so it's exciting to see what's going to happen tonight. Ragnarok rolled an interesting flag set that he challenged Davis with. But before we get into the flags, I'm joined in the booth by Deadpools. How you doing, Dead?
Oh, doing great. Looking forward to a great match tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. So you can see both of our runners starting with a White Mage. We are running with Blurst classes. We have 4 bonus, 2 Malice. The White Mage can use Fighter Swords, has a 15% extra hit, got 10 extra strength, 40 extra HP. They lose 10 vitality and they lose 10 MDef. This White Mage feeling a whole lot like a battle mage, like almost like a cleric kind of vibe to it. What do you think about this White Mage?
I think it's perfect for one of the strategies. You want to go in here with at least 2 strategies in case, with these flag sets, you have 500% up to for boss hit, boss stats. You need someone that has some sort of ruse capability.
Oh, yeah. And so quickly going into the flags, we are going to have all kinds of craziness in shops. We're going to have random weapons and gear that's including caster items and elite gear. We might have mosses for sale. We might have ribbons for sale. We might have opal bracelets, white shirts. All that stuff could be available in those stores. We do have Spellcrafter on. And with mixed spell books, who knows what this White Mage is going to get. We have... we just saw Danny drop the gate on runners. Our runners are going to be going here any second, so we'll quickly fire through the rest of the flags. We got Shuffle Spike Tiles, Shuffled Fiends. We have every floor incentivized except the Marsh Crown Box. With his entrance floor shuffle, we got Free Bridge, Free Canal. We have 1 dud location. We have better trap treasures on. We're looking for 24 to 32 shards. I think the title screen said 32. We got a short Topher. We have... Fiend Tiles and just Chaos, so no alt final boss hanging out in the short Topher. We got Towns shuffled amongst themselves. Like I said, entrance floor. Clamps, like you mentioned, Dead, go all the way up from 150% to 500%, and we got 50 to 300% enemies. This is going to be a slog to start with, but we are working with burst weapons and gear with a -5 to +9. All of our gear is going to be trending upwards, but at 0.6, 0.7 encounter rate, and we're off and running. Davis checking the Canary entrance and finding a Cardia, and he gets his first, and Ragnarok found a BLT 8. Bolt 8 is going to be really good. That's going to be our bread and butter spell there. I think that's basically a upgraded lightning magic. If my spellcrafter knowledge is right. Or it's just stack it. It's a Scooby-Doo style sandwich.
Yeah, that's going to be a great spell to start this off with.
Now, curious that neither runners have checked the tavern yet. That Wear +2 sword would be pretty good, but it's a little expensive. Great Axe +5's going to work. And Copper +8. So now Ragnarok's going to get all his money to come back into Canary and buy all this wonderful stuff. Davis double checking the bonus Malice. Can check the item shop. And no vendor item just yet. But all that early money, that's a perfect way to set your solo character up for success. It's like the seed knew.
Like it wanted to gift them something.
And fascinating. Maybe Davis is saving before we check the tavern. Nope, don't even care what's for sale. We're doing this solo style. Bolt. Oh,
yep. Bolt's only single target.
Okay. See, I'm not familiar enough with the spellcrafter, but that's still single and Viz 4 on the imps. Oh boy. Bolt 8 still probably going to do a massive amount of damage. And we did find our first prism in the Cardia Islands. This is a shard hunt, so we need Once we get a good look at our menu, we'll know exactly how many shards we need, but our first of many that we'll need to find here in the... or second, there's 2 in here. Awesome.
Well, that was one thing you don't want to see is imps with blaze.
Yeah, no. But Davis chopping through those spiders with that axe. And we got a dungeon. Oh boy. So, Rag, can you check the taverns for us? No interest in checking that tavern just yet.
It's all about building suspense.
There is the Earth 1 floor, 3 spike tiles on that floor. Not checking those just yet. And there's the rod block. That is an incentivized floor. So Davis making a note of that, and we'll come back later. Still no one checking that, there's that imps with the blaze. Ooh, we got Carrie right here in the dwarf cave. That is another incentivized location.
Now, to note that might not be Carrie. I believe that the fiend are all shuffled.
Yep. So we could have Kraken here. We could have any one of the 4 fiends here. But more importantly, this is a incentivized box, and that bolt 8 just hit that Grimp for almost 700 damage. That's one heck of a BLT. Some thick bacon. And there's a... Agama's always nice to find. Bolt 8 only doing 278 there. Davis nopes out. I wonder if both of our runners... So I played a lot of the solo start with the tavern mode a lot during the Road to SG Live last year in my series of races with Dangwu, so it became second nature for me to check that tavern right away when starting with the solo class. And I wonder if there's a combination of nerves here at play for both of our runners not checking that tavern, but it looks like Davis is headed back, so might realize that, oh, I don't have to do this alone. And it looks like that's where he's headed.
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword. They don't know some of the later spells. They don't know any of the armor, and they're not going to be able to change their characters once they get them.
Yeah, I still think there's a value in knowing what's there, and we checked, and it's another white mage. So, because another thing is we have to figure out what party we're going. You make an excellent point, Deadpool. So we have to figure out what party we're going to land on, because we can only replace nuns. So we're stuck with the white mage that we have, and we got to find the 3 other classes that we want. And not knowing what those late game spells are is critical right now. So on the one hand, we're saving ourselves the trouble of buying another white mage that may not have in-game viability, and on the flip side, we're also losing out on another party member to start getting XP for that other character. So, because whenever we do find that second light warrior for our party, it's going to come in at level 1.
I would seriously consider taking a second white mage. I know that we have only seen a little bit out of it, but considering that you can pull off some white samurai strats, I mean, Bolt 8, even though it's single target, I think that'd be good for taking out 1, maybe 2 fiends.
And there's a fighter for sale in Provoca, and there's Cure 4. Wall 5 is pretty good. So that Cure 4 is not the vanilla Cure 4 that we're used to. That's probably somewhere between a Cure 4 and... Or I'm sorry, a Cure 2 level tier spell, Cure 2, Cure 3-ish. Pretty good, but not end-all be-all Cure spell. And X-Cal plus 8. Oh, man. Makes that fighter we saw for sale a little bit more enticing. And Ragnarok taking some notes. Maybe checking the flags. Man, so I think if we're Davis, we're going to save at the end first. No? Buy the Cure 4. Get the Wall 5. I don't know. See, hit the select button for me, Davis. I want to see if that Wall 5, if that's an AoE. I know after a certain threshold, those single target awesome spells become AoE. So Invis 8, for example, and Spellcrafter will be max of 8 for your whole party in a single cast. But we're gonna go with we're gonna try the pirates with just. Yep, it's gonna be a little dicey there. Now we don't have unsafe pirates or buff pirates on. That's just a swing and a miss because axes aren't the best weapons here.
Yeah, in this case, safe is a relative term.
Yeah. Again, fascinating that he's not electing to take that fighter. I wonder if he's waiting for a black belt with the clamped percents on the bosses. And we got a question from Lackeys. What is TGL spell? I believe when Davis did the shop information for that, it looked like a single target earth damage spell.
Yeah, I believe it's Tangle.
Okay.
Yeah, paralysis.
Thank you, Rubes in chat, for clarifying that, and thank you, Deadpools, again. I gotta play more with the Spellcrafter. It's definitely something. And Davis here riding the struggle bus with these pirates. Ragnarok right behind him.
Yeah, that silver axe is putting in some work.
All right, again, walking right past the pub. Gonna get that Cure 4, that Wall 5. Let's see if I mean, Harm 6 is even like a nice little like niche spell for handling the undead. That's gonna be stronger than. Ooh, there's a canoe. So there's some overworld progression. Question from Rocksolid: why didn't Davis use Bolt 8 for the pirates? That is a single target spell, so he would have needed 9 charges to get that through. And we're buying fighter gear. But it's fighter swords, Davis. So we wasted a little bit of money there.
We saw Steel Armor 4, the Excal 8. I mean, that's making the fighter look just fabulous for this.
And Ragnarok showing us the spell information on that Harm 6. That is better than, I think, Harm 4 even. Going up to 380 damage.
Plus, it's going to be their only AoE so far.
Mm-hmm. Granted, it is niche with only attacking undead, but still, no love for the. Davis wants to just go solo. Okay, so fighter's not good enough. And now, see, I get not wanting to buy the white mage, but I think that there's a utility in hiring a fighter, even if the plan is to still go with a black belt. Because I think with how high these clamps are, I think a fighter black belt white black party could be really effective. So
yeah, and even so, just someone to take a little bit of damage away.
Mm-hmm. Especially not even like hiring it and seeing what the bonuses are, because there's a good chance that fighter could have maybe access to black magic, could have access to more white magic, because we haven't even seen anybody go into the black magic shops. We don't know what's in those. And we could be sitting with like a nuke 8 at level 1.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but on Carrie's floor, the trap tile, wasn't that mummies and whiz mummies? So that Harm 6 could put in some real work.
Yes, that's an excellent point. It won't deal with the birds that show up there, but that's what Bolt 8's for. So, question from Eat It Up 86: why do they drive around and reload a bunch of times? So that's Davis manipulating the encounter table and trying to find where the run is, where he can just easily traverse the overworld without hitting an encounter. And Ragnarok takes the wipe to the pirates. Davis finds less than greater than. We're going to walk back out. We're going to save it. It's a good call. Bolt, I mean, you probably don't want to go 5 rounds with these guards. They're gonna make quick work of you. But Bolt 8, I want to see how much damage this does. 544 damage, and the guard just takes it on the chin. That's not a good sign.
Oh my!
That is not a good sign. That's an enemy where a standard lightning 3 can sometimes clear out. Ooh. And those guards are just giving Davis the business. literally guarding this tower. Ragnarok working on these pirates some more. Got the evasion up and is going with drink strats. I don't know if he bought that Cure 4, and Davis picks up another prism here, and another one in the less than greater than. A rune +7 sword. There we go. That's going to be much better. So 3 shards here, a rune 7 sword.
Now he's just got to get out of here.
Yeah, and it's curious that he's going deeper, because we can't be bailed out by a town, or we have no exit strategy to get through a thief, so, or get through a fiend. So, question, do they have to beat Chaos to win this mode? Yes, they do. They don't have to kill the original 4 fiends, though, with the Shard Hunt. So, access to the Temple of Fiends is only gated by the number of prisms we collect, not having to light the 4 orbs. Think of it as a sort of like Link to the Past, or the Dorito Hunt, where they break up the Triforce in all those little bitty pieces. Alright, Davis going to check out our third town. Crescent Lake is Melmond. So a town without a pub. Cure 7, Wall 8. Wall 8 is going to be super important. That's going to be the wall that applies to your entire party. Cure 7 is going to be applicable to like a Cure 4. Bunch of little weapons in the weapon shop, and buckle +3. Sure.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
Yeah. Any absorb is worth putting on right now.
You know, there's a real chance that all the fiends roll 500%, and it doesn't matter how much absorb you have.
It's true. The evasion is going to be the most important thing that we can get. So if we can find like a Invis 8, that's going to be a literal game changer. So we're going to have to get through these fiends. The first few rounds with these fiends and Temple of Fiends Revisited as quickly and efficiently as possible with our initiative order. And having to sit there and try to get 2 or 3 Invis 2s out there while bruising, and having to take 2 or 3 rounds to get evasion cap, and you're dealing with a 500% Kraken with like 12 hits just blowing you up for 800 damage. It can be problematic.
Well, the other option is to just go all offense. Hit them harder.
That's even trickier, I would argue.
I'm sure they're not going to roll max evade.
They're right. Worth noting, we saw Melmond. We had that harm 6. Unfortunately, our runners did not turn on the Zozo Melmond. But we get a look at Crescent Lake here. Still no look on the shop item. No peek into the Aegis +6. No peek into the pub yet. Looking for ribbons and mosses, I would presume. A Fire 3 stick. That's better if it wasn't Spellcrafter. Temper 8. Excellent spell. And first look at a Black Magic Fast 6. Alright, so Temper 8 on the White Mage, and Davis, go dig out the old man you gotta talk to, as Ragnarok gonna go back into this Temple of Fiends and try to get to that vampire box. And there's a boat. So these flags do have free canal, so Davis now has access to the world. Now, if that Earth incentive is like floater, and Davis just orphans it for a while, and Ragnarok manages to dig it out, that could be a huge swing for the gambler, as he likes to be called. So
yeah, these seeds, there's 24 incentive items and 23 locations, so there is going to be one loose.
Oh, it'll be a dud, right? No, you're right. It'll be one loose.
Yeah, but in the incentive pool is also Massa, Katana, Vorpal,
Yeah.
Defense, Opal.
I always get that backwards, man. That 23, 24, I'm like, oh, there's going to be a dud. So thank you for correcting me. I misspoke earlier. There will be one loose. But considering it's Insurance Floor Shuffle, Topher's not deep, our only items we're absolutely going to need are going to be that loot and the key. So as long as they don't roll loose, should be fine. Famous last words.
That is how you jinx things.
That's what I'm going for here. And Ragnarok efficiently trying to take out these wizards. That should be pretty good XP for him if he gets through this. Bolt 8 just blowing up those wizards. Already up to level 10 now. And there's a ribbon +6. So the better trap treasure paying out huge for Ragnarok there. Ribbon +6. Pretty awesome. Able to get through the vampire. Now we gotta get out of here. And there's adamant, so no sign of the dwarves, but it's something.
That kind of feels badament.
A flame +8. Davis getting all these awesome fighter swords. I want a flame +8 sword. Another prism. We are working with shard XP, so for every 8 shards we find, we will get a bump of 25% XP. That's equivalent to if you're used to like XP per key item. 25% per 8 shards is very similar to 5% per key item. And that you're going to end up with about the same bonus XP on top of it.
You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention there was a match that you participated in against DVS about 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is bringing back memories of that, I think.
Oh, I've run too many seeds, man. I don't remember them all. No, that was the bingo race. Yeah, that was fun. Irongol bingo. It's pretty good stuff. And harm 6, put in 400. Whenever you see a spell roll over 400 damage, it's always just like, wait, what? Typically, Nuke, the most powerful spell in the game, caps with damage at 400. Ice 3 can roll over that. Lit 3 can roll over that if they hit a target that is weak to it. So if you fire a Lit 3 at a guard, it might roll over 400. If you fire an Ice 3 at a water, it might roll over 400. But it's not often that you get to see damage roll that high. Ragnarok in a pretty good spot here. He's only got a few more steps to go to get out of this volcano and save that ribbon and adamant.
That's got to feel good. Something is going right.
Yeah, you finally get your feet underneath you. You got a little bit of traction. Now with this ribbon, maybe I can go see what's in the carry floor and just sigh heavily when it's the rod and we get to go back.
Yeah, what I like about Ragnarok, I know he hasn't been too active recently, but going back to the spring tournament 2020, he made quite a splash.
Ragnarok did have quite the showing in the spring tournament. Took Crabcakes, who was the reigning spring tournament champion, took her to the wire in their Swiss match, and there's the good old Sky Maze, the flag that no one likes. That I wonder if Ragnarok put that on as just a jokey meme, and Davis just kind of glanced over it. It's not the most obvious flag to see, but oh boy. Question from Tabapple: does anyone know the estimated time for this race? So we're at about 21 minutes in. These flags, well, I'm gonna figure we're probably gonna be here for maybe 2 hours total. I think we'll get through this. One of our runners will punch through this by then, because the way the gear is breaking out, and there's a Fog 4 axe, like we should be pretty good.
And DVS gets out, going back in for some more.
Yeah, I mean, with one loose, even with all the junk in the pool, you don't want to leave anything. You don't want to leave anything behind. But he's gonna, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, at this point, I would just
Yeah.
be hoping to collect those shards, not have to deal with some of those more terrible floors that we're bound to see.
All right. So Davis gonna head to the marsh, and Ragnarok working a little of a grind here. Gargoyles with heal 6, as if gargoyles couldn't get more annoying.
Cue the thunder.
The blurs on the white mage. So if you're just joining us, the white mage, we're working this whole seed with 4 blurses, 2 malice, or 4 bonuses, 2 malices for each class. We only know the white mage because we know that fighters were for sale in Provoca, but nobody bought one, so we don't know what the fighters are holding. The white mage has access to fighter swords, 15% extra hit, 10 extra strength, 40 extra HP. They lose 10 vitality and 10 magic defense. So Ragnarok coming in right behind Davis into this northwest location. And Davis breaks out of the inner sea, so 23 minutes out into the world. Feels okay, I think. Yeah, especially if you're Ragnarok, because you know that you have the knowledge of the 2 incentive boxes that Davis left behind, with it being the Adamant and that Vorpal 5, which Vorpal 5 could get some work done too if we recruit that fighter.
Yeah, and it looks like Ragnarok took his white mage up to 16.
And question from Demon Frog, is there a reason why they wouldn't have bought an extra character? We are on replace only nuns, but I'm not sure why we didn't buy one, just to look at it, just to see what it's got for sale. We didn't even see what the class for sale in Crescent Lake was. Crescent Lake located in Elfland. There's Lefane. Check the pub. Another white mage. Take more white mages, Davis. So white mages were available in Canaria. If we saw Crescent Lake, I missed it. So double checking our notes. I don't see it in the notes, so
I don't think they checked the pub in Crescent.
All right, Davis gonna take a look here at the Fiend, and it's Kraken. Oh, 500% Kraken 1, Fog 4, Blaze. Kraken playing with his food a little bit, Lit 4, so not gonna get through there. We are looking at 500% bosses clamped from 150% to 500, so it's gonna be a slog.
I hate to say it, but I don't think that Fog 4 is going to do it there.
Oh, no. Fog can be handy in a pinch when dealing with some strategies, but with the 500%, you really, really want to have evasion magic. And everything punching hard. These enemies up to 300%. Saber -5. Salt in the wound there. But we got plenty of good fighter swords, and Ragnarok swinging that Flame 8 sword. Getting some levels on Marl. To level 17. So you can see the effects of that -10 vitality. So level 17 still, the HP doesn't feel great.
So at what point do you go back and just say, listen, I need to get that fighter. I need to start crafting my party?
At what point do I go back? If I'm Davis, maybe I check Crescent Lake. Well, no, we already did the Crescent Lake entrance because that was Melmond. So I guess if we sail around the bottom side of Elfland, pop back up, check Melmond, see what's for sale there, and then head down. We do have Northern Docks on, so we can go check Onrak and we can check the waterfall. But I agree with what Burt Reynolds is saying in chat. I would have bought the fighter as soon as I saw it. I probably would have just bought the 1 and run fighter white mage, because I think a fighter white mage, black belt is not necessarily the ideal party here, but when you're dealing with a build your party as you go, it's kind of tricky with the replace nuns. Because I would have just bought I would have bought 4 white mages in Canary and just gone Bolt 8 crazy, but being limited to replacing only nuns, you don't have that luxury. Unless you wanted to just go 4 white mages and just go all in, like these fighter swords are going to carry.
Yeah, not only that, but the fighters could have some pretty nasty malices.
Yeah, and so there's still that uncertainty that we don't know, and this flame sword not getting it done, and Davis takes another wipe here, just trying to get in and out of this dungeon. Sea trolls and lobsters tilting the professor here.
Yeah, don't forget those unrunnable sharks.
Mm-hmm. And there's Bahamut. Okay, so no free tail, but there's we found human resources. So when it comes time for our annual evaluation, we'll get there. Congratulations, Bert, remembering that he turned this flag on and immediately finds the teleporter. Did Davis get through the maze? Because that was a pretty simple teleporter maze into the C-split, so Davis did not get down here. We're going with a wall 5. It's going to mitigate that lightning damage, but Pain 3 coming out from Kraken. Kraken stays spell happy. I don't know if 3 Bolt 8s is going to be enough, but sure.
That is called giving him the business.
Yeah, Kraken just smushed Davis there. Yeah, 2,000 damage. Just about. Rip. Fog 4 ain't going to help much there.
That's what I was hoping for, is that he would cast Fog 4 and still get smacked in the face for 2,000.
Yeah, that wall 8, unfortunately, is not a physical wall, and it is just a figurative wall. Oh boy. And we're going back for it, so I wonder if Davis thinks he can get 3, if he can get turn order and not get meleeed, and can get off 3 Bolt 8s, will that be enough? But this is an interesting hill for Davis to die on. So we're dealing with a shard hunt. Killing Kraken here would only net him 2 shards by walking across the earth plate. It's a bold strategy, Dead. We'll see how it pays out. Meanwhile, Ragnarok, slow and steady through this dungeon here. And that C-split jumped up to level 20, so finally over the 300 HP mark.
Another 1,600, he can survive a hit from Kraken.
It's gonna be a while. C-split and a marsh split. Welcome to Irongol, folks. This is where the fun never stops. Where runners craft their own flags and challenge each other to races, and Ragnarok finds another incentivized floor here with the sky floor. And gets a prism for his efforts, so Ragnarok had a little bit of a slower start getting out of the Canaria area, and gained some ground back. That silver 3, that's probably better than that's probably better than the copper plus 8, maybe. I don't know.
We'll have to ask the math people on that, but I'd take a copper 8 all the way to the end.
Yeah, we have not seen Exeter Warp to answer Burt Reynolds' question. With Marl having access to fighter gear, that bog standard silver gauntlet could be handy to put on too. Just a little bit extra absorb. I think it's like 6 extra absorb. Okay, so the silver armor is better for copper 8's 20 absorb, so it's a silver plus 3, which would put it, I think, right around 24 absorb. And sharks with the stun touch. Oh boy. We have not seen silver bracelet just yet, not that I'm aware of. Alright, sky incentive is crown, and we did see Northwest a long time ago believe it was in Matoya's cave. Double check our notes. No, that was Elfland Castle. Northwest was in Northwest Castle. No, wait. Yeah, the right side of Northwest Castle. So, and there's our black belt. There's DVS's solution to his problems, he's hoping. But we gotta get some levels on that black belt. White shirt, black shirt, t-shirt flexible, plus 15 MDEF, plus 20 agility, no ribbon, and black mage HP, so...
Oh, that's gotta feel bad.
It actually might not be terrible, considering that it still has the black belt's vitality. So it'll start out low, and it'll be a little bit slower, but by the end, that black belt should still get pretty close to its original HP. No ribbon though it's a bummer, but it's not the worst with the way the black belt gains magic defense. And there's Sea Shrine, so Davis gets his first look at an incentive floor, and there's a silver plus 8 bracelet. So there you go, that's 31 absorb. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I suppose going into the end game, your strategy has got to be, not to survive the hits, to either try to get to max evade or just have enough HP to survive the spells.
And we get a crystal. Don't know where Matoya's is yet. So Davis probably going to check the caravan and then maybe head to the Ordeals entrance after this before we start circling back to those orphaned dungeons that we left behind. More than likely, Ragnarok going to find the floors that Davis needs to turn in, but there's no prism.
I always feel bad for talking to the mermaid who talks about turning into bubbles.
Oh, and Crescent Lake was a red mage. I think he's going to buy it. All right. Let's check it out. Check it out. Check it out before you save. Hit the button again. Alright. Black Belt Vitality, 15 Vitality, Katana, 20 Strength, minus 20 HP, minus 5 Luck. That is going to be one thick red mage. That red mage is going to have a lot of HP.
Now, is their magic capped at 4 in these flags? I saw.
I believe that is correct. We are working with max charges limited. Red mages maxed at 4 charges. White and black mages capped at 6 charges. Knight and ninjas capped at 2. So the black belt iron has already fallen down. And giant plus 8 sword. And there's a ruby for sale. We did find the Titans back in the Ice Cave area. So that ATI 7 plus 1 stick, that is an anti-time magic stick, which will protect us against stuff like zap or glare. And it'll probably protect the entire party, with it being 7. Alright. Lots of note taking happening off screen, I'm sure, with our for both of our runners here. I did not notice the dirt cheap houses. Time to get that temper 8. Fast 6. So in order for that fast 6 to work, we're gonna have to promote. So Davis gotta buy that black belt again. Ragnarok gets his boat first try, wins the Confused Old Man lottery.
Yeah, going back to notes, I don't even know how they would organize all of this. This is a lot of information, especially with Spellcrafter on.
Yeah.
And I'm not the predominant expert on Spellcrafter, but I believe that it's still, every time, like what you saw, like Temper 8, there's only 3 other level 8, quote-unquote, Black Mage spells still in the pool.
I don't know if that's true. It makes a lot of sense. Again, I don't have a lot of familiarity playing with Spellcrafter, so that sounds like it makes sense. We're gonna get our first look at level 1 Black Magic, and it's Life 7 and Saber 4. Now hit select on ATI 7. So let's learn Ragnarok. Gonna buy the Bolt 8. Go back. Get the, I would imagine it's Life 7 Saber 4. Or ATI 7. Interesting.
I've been zapped so many times, I'll take that every day.
Yeah. We do have a ribbon in the pool, and he did find the 1 ribbon, so... It's a curious move. I think with the Red Mage having access to that katana, Saber 4 is a decent backup level 1 spell. So, I mean, I think that's primarily going to be your Bolt 8 charge and your Life 7 charge. Like, that's what you're going to be using, that level 1 slot for the Red Mage. Until you get to the end game. And Davis finds Sarda hanging out beneath the volcano here in Temple of Ordeals. And it's a chime. So, our overworld exploration continues. And, yeah, so it sounds like you are correct, Edples. Burt Reynolds saying there are 8 level 8 spells in total, 4 white, 4 black. So, makes sense that there would only be 4 black magic spells available.
But in a flag set like this, I'm glad to see Temper as one of those.
Absolutely. Temper 8 being a little bit more effective than your bog standard Temper. And Davis looks like maybe he's trying to work out a way to get that black belt some levels. Ragnarok having similar issues keeping his new party member alive.
You got to be thinking that, you know, I struggled for 20 minutes to get my 1 party member up to level 20. I got to do it all over again.
Ragnarok finds a Thane. Finnish hospitality is turned on. Ragnarok, go check the pub. Not interested in seeing the pub here in Lefane. Maybe forgot that they have a pub. He's gonna find the Lich floor. He's gonna be like, I wonder if it's Lich. And he's gonna get smeared by Kraken. Get those bets in chat for how much this white mage is gonna get punched for. Even money's saying, let's say 1,600. Because I think this white mage has got a little bit more armor on. 1451. Rip. Alright, so Ragnarok's gotta consider his life choices here. David's trying to make a fire 3-stick work on some river enemies. It's not gonna be the most effective way to do this, but luckily the white mage stands up, throws out a lightning bolt. Black belt jumps up to level 7.
I like this. I like the overworld grind. He's finding some decent enemies and doesn't have to deal with, you know, everything in the dungeons that we've seen.
Mm-hmm. I like it a little bit more if it was outside of a town, if I'm being completely honest, because he's gonna have to waste houses and go back to Onrak and buy more. So,
well, he bought, you know, 20 some houses. He still got 15.
Right. Just to me, it feels a little bit safer to do it outside of a town. Just a minor nitpick, but Davis gonna make it work for sure. Encounter table's not too dissimilar between Ordeals and Onrak. Alright, David. Ragnarok makes his way, finds Melmond. Marking down the notes, gonna check the magic. Wall 8, Cure 7, definitely the winners here, and unable to pick up that red mage here too, which kind of feels bad. Davis, speaking of the bad feels, loses the black belt again. This is why we do this outside of town. Might be okay. Kill 8, pretty good. Davis back to Elfland, which is Crescent Lake. He does have that ruby in hand. So we are going to get our first look here at the Titan's Trove incentive, and Davis has to be hoping for a floater here. It's an opal +6, so it's pretty really good armor. But not what we wanted to see for sure.
That'll help the black belt survive maybe a little bit.
Oh yeah, that opal +8. What, that's 34 plus 60. That's 50 absorb, if my head math is right that I did out loud. I believe opal race is 34 absorb.
It sounds right. I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, why not? So yeah, that's you don't need to. You can just leave that black belt equipped with that, and it's as if that black belt were level 50 from the beginning. And
now I must have missed it, but you said you saw kill 8.
That was level 5 black magic top slot Melmond.
Is the level 8 spell, is that where it gets its power up, where it works on more than the regular ones?
I think so. I think it ignores death resistance at that level. But again, not 100% on Spellcrafter. We need one fine day in here to explain stuff. Or somebody a little more knowledgeable of that option. But yeah, I believe it overcomes death resistance. And are we gonna buy a fighter? Buy a fighter! I want to see what these Larses are. There's Harm 8 and Viz 7. I think Neck 8 is that Necro, like necrotic damage? Yeah, all enemies. Death. It's death damage. That's pretty what's up.
And it also has the 3 most beautiful letters, AOE.
And in Viz 7, we're going to buy in Viz 7 for sure. That is 32 evasion for everyone in the party with each cast. Yeah. Go buy that fighter. See if that fighter can learn magic. A dearth of spells available for that. Yeah. Oh, White Wall 5 is just a single target, but we did see Wall 8 later, so no need to buy that now. Buy the fighter. I want to see it. Go for Harm 8. Interesting. I would have gone with the Neck 8 and Viz 7 for sure. I don't know if he picked up both of those, but still no love for the fighters. I guess both of our runners holding out for the black belt rainbow party.
I suppose that's not a bad strategy. I mean, I'm with you. I'd love to see this fighter, see how it's going to hinder everybody in this.
Yeah, just to see what its bonus and malice are. I think that's a question we're gonna have to ask both of our runners when we get to the end game here. And throwing out that ATI 7, get that anti-time magic up just in case these hags have glare or zap. It's a very niche circumstance, but it's
who needs glare or zap when you could punch someone in the face?
And now, Davis, are we gonna buy a red mage? Okay, did the safety save, so we're gonna buy the red mage. We're gonna take a look under the hood. Alright, Davis getting the information that yeah, this is probably worth keeping. Red mage tank hype? That thing's gonna have so much HP. No armor for it though.
Yeah, let's just hope that once it hits, 999 HP, it'll be able to take a hit.
got a giant +8 sword. Oh, we're gonna put the flame on it. Check out our level 6 magic. Oh, Tim. We're gonna buy her Tim. Nope. Just looking. If you guys out there watching want to get involved with Irongol, feel free to hop in, join the Discord. You can find the link at FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Like I said before, Irongol is a very sort of fun, user-driven racing experience where there's a leaderboard. Folks on the leaderboard can challenge anyone ranked higher than them on the leaderboard to climb up to get that #1 contender spot to take on the reigning champ, who is Crabcakes right now. Crabcakes finally unseating the former champ Spellzap, who held that title for like a year. CC came in and took out Spellzap, and now she's the reigning champ. So if you want a shot at Crabcakes for the belt, hop in, join the Irongol, start challenging folks. The fun thing about challenging people is you get to make the flags. And granted, your opponent can sort of make adjustments on the fly and say, I don't know about this 500% bosses, maybe 300% bosses. You guys can work it out, land on a flag set that you both like, land on a play format that you like. I like to challenge folks bingo mode. Basically, Irongol can be whatever you want it to be, and it's one of my favorite ways to race FFR. Also, if you're maybe this is a little too crazy for you, we do have the Duck Boot Camp for our newer players happening right now. So if you're out there wanting to learn more about the game, feel free to join the Discord, become a Duckling, enroll in Gregory Puff's Duckling Boot Camp. It'll all culminate here into January, mid-January into early February with a Duckling Derby where all the new players get to race each other. And Deadpulse, you're participating in that, right?
Yes, I am. All the videos are very helpful. It's helped me personally, and you take a look at people running from week 1, week 2, week 3. Everybody is getting better by leaps and bounds. It's going to be a great derby coming up.
Yeah, and the boot camp you're learning each week is designed to teach you a new lesson, to teach you sort of a different approach to the game, a different strategy. The current week right now is hand-to-hand training, where we are learning the black belt, and the Duckling Weekly is a very black belt friendly seed, and it's been fun. But if you're interested in checking out the previous weeks of the boot camp, you can scroll up in the Discord and find those earlier releases for the Duckling Boot Camp. So even though you might not be able to participate in those weeks as they were happening, you can still go back and try the seeds, learn the lessons, and learn the game a little bit better, and participate in the Duck Derby. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
And this match right now between Davis and Ragnarok, you're probably not going to see this in the Duck Derby.
Well, being on being a Duckling Derby boss myself, you don't know what's in store for you with these later flags. No, we do have entrance floor shuffle, but it's a little more of like a catered experience where it's curated, excuse me, not catered. I wish it was catered. They have food at these events. I'd be there. I'd be at every one, man. A curated experience to sort of help get you used to entrance floor shuffle and sort of the knowledge base that you need to how to navigate these sorts of flag sets a little more effectively, not piled on with solo tavern mode strats and things like that. But it's a pretty fun experience.
Yeah, what I will say, the devs do such a great job. There are so many options, and it's nice when you have the Duckling Derby and all of the those kind of videos that you're talking about, teaching people, here's a couple of options, here's what you can do with it, and then you watch this match. Let's throw it all in there.
Yeah, just throw, see what sticks to the wall. The videos Deadpool's talking about, every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on RPG Limit Break, you can catch Gregory Puff doing the reveal where he or one of the other Duckling Derby bosses, whether it's Ale, Sir Linkalot, Jat, somebody's running the seed, people are doing comms, and it's a very instructional video where the commentators take the time, walk through the flags, explain everything, what it all means, how it all interact, and then you have a veteran runner going through the seeds, sort of taking it slow, not showing off the insane menuing speed that these veteran runners have, but taking your time so you can actually see what they're doing the comms will explain things as they're doing it, and it's sort of, it slows it down, because when you watch these randomizer races, everything happens so fast that you might miss it. And Cerberus with crack, that's the first time we've seen that. But it's a really nice format, and I'm really proud of the duckling program that we have on the community. And like I said it before, Gregory Puff has done a great job with it. Ailmark, and I think this is his second year supporting it. Dark Moon has helped out with the Duck Derby in the past, doing all the layouts and providing good feedback. This is Sir Linkalot and Jat's first year helping out with the Duck Derby, and who better to help out than the current Duckling Supreme, Sir Linkalot, and Jat, who could have given Sir Linkalot a run for his money during that Duck Derby, but Jat missed one of the races, and fortunately it impacted his points in a way that it's one of those things like, we'll never know. But both great runners, new to the community, been around for just a few months now, and have already become some of the top runners at the moment. Alright, Davis working back into this dungeon where he's already been. He knows there's 4 prisms here, and Ragnarok gonna find Sarda. Not gonna get the progression he's looking for. So where do you think this progression is, Deadpulse?
I can only imagine. Like, we're looking at, what is it, 6 shards at the most so far?
Mm-hmm. I think we got to go back. Ragnarok has that crown. We know that if the notes aren't betraying me, we know that the Northwest Castle's in that C-split. So it might be Astos. It might be in the Mirage Tower. I don't know if Davis has made it out that far yet. But we're starting to hit that funnel where everything sort of like leads into itself. There's always a bottleneck, it seems, with some of these flags, where no matter where you go, no matter how different your routing is in the early game, that route divergence will eventually come back and just funnel you into one location. And right now it's either going to be that C-split or it's going to be the Mirage Tower.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just wondering, where could the floater be? Where am I going to get those Cardia Islands opened up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cardia, very, very important location, entrance floor shuffle, with, 1, 2, 3, 4 entrances right there. I only count the 4 because we don't have dead ends turned on, so Cardia Tiny and the double top, the hole above Bahamut, is going to be vanilla dead ends.
So that would be a great question. How do you label those? When you're taking notes in a match, you have entrance shuffle on. How do you label all the Cardia Islands?
So we have in the Discord, in the setup and like the new player channels, there are a ton of great resources in the pins, and one of the pinned links is an old entrance tracker developed by Files that I still use. A handful of folks still use it, and it's just a web page with a link, and every entrance has a drop down box, and just go in and click it. So in that, they're labeled as Cardia Grassy, Cardia Forest, Cardia Tiny, Cardia Swamp, Cardia Double Top, Cardia Double Bottom. But when I find them, I usually just mark it as cleared, because I don't need to. If a Cardia is the bottom of a dungeon and I make it out of there, I don't need to come back. But I would just mark in the drop down on that tracker, the options are Cardia Treasure or Cardia Empty. So if it's one of the dead ends that you find, if dead ends were shuffled into the entrance floor shuffle, you would just mark it as a Cardia Empty for the most clear notes.
That sounds too high tech for me. I just like my my notepad and pen, and I label them C1 through C6, and I forget which one is which every time.
That's awesome. Did I start counting from the left or from the right this time? I don't know. It's amazing. So Ragnarok gets his thick opal bracelet. If you're the hangry Canuck, that opal Cheerio. That's one of those. You ever see like a picture of a chinchilla eating a Cheerio, so it looks all big in their hands?
I have not, but
Six.
you're probably going to find that on my internet search history tonight.
An old roommate of mine had a chinchilla, and it was so fun giving it like small food because it grabs it with both hands, and it's adorable. So Davis electing for the take fights as you go, get some sort of XP on these light warriors, and Ragnarok catching up.
And Chimera is not respecting the chain of command of who you're supposed to hit first.
No. They're not used to seeing that white mage tank. They're like, wait, no. You wanted me to hit the black belt first, right? Because that's typically they're targeting class, not slot. All right. And Ragnarok going to take a very interesting sailing path to what I'm assuming is Mirage. Just on the Disney Cruise Line of FFR, just sailing around the coastline here.
You know, I've got a good feeling about this Mirage.
I still think it's I appreciate your optimism, but I think it's that crown. I think it's going to be that crown. I think, well, this Mirage could be something cheeky like dwarves. It could just be another deep, nasty dungeon. I mean, we did see both the splits. Granted, they were in the same dungeon, but I mean, I don't know how long it's going to be before Ragnarok or Davis want to go back to the northwest entrance and dig through that dungeon again.
Yeah, I'm good putting that off as long as I can.
Yeah. But this could be Matoya, this could be the Dwarf Cave, it could be another incentivized floor, we could find the ice loop here. We found, it could be Marsh Bottom, but that is key lock that's incentivized. So we found Earth, Volcano, Sea Shrine, and Sky, and it's Ordeals. So it's an incentive location. That was the next one I was going to say. Working my way up the list. Davis gonna empty out this Sharknado floor. New checks all around. Fire 3 stick gonna finally get some work for Davis with this fight here.
I haven't seen any good grind tiles yet, so I assume that the overworld grind is going to be your best bet.
Yeah. I mean,
I say that, and an eye is going to show up here.
we really need to get some prisms going. With the prism, like, we would probably want at least 16 prisms before we start the grind. That way we're at least, like, at an extra 50% bonus. Right now, I think both of our runners are just sort of take experience where you can. Zombols, that's a good fight. If they didn't roll up, I mean, we got the harm spells, and we've got that fire 3 stick. Oh, I guess he doesn't have the fire 3 stick. And Punchman is not getting it done yet, and a flames. Oh, okay, but Davis gets through the fight. Jumped up to 16 and 15. We hopefully have that life 7. That life 7 was available for the red mage, but if he didn't go back to Provoca, he may not have it.
That is a tough break.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And again. Hey, okay. Well, if we're one-shotting Gersharks, this might be okay. This might be, yeah, this is our grind. The Wissahags are going to be the problem when they show up, but if Rag the Red Mage is getting through these with one swing, that might be okay.
Yeah, decently low roll on the HP there.
Yeah, if we can get to 21 with that black belt, get the activation process started, we'll be in a good spot. Get that 6th hit for it. And unfortunately, these Wixahags just have just enough evasion to be annoying. Ragnarok still working his way through the pillar maze here. No access to warp is going to make this not fun.
It makes it just annoying enough that you got to do it twice.
Yeah, and I think he lost track of when you get bounced back, not necessarily to the beginning, but when you get bounced back to like the middle of the pillar maze, it can be very tricky to remember where you are in the cycle.
See, I also label these pillars, P1 and P2, and promptly forget exactly what they were.
Yeah, I usually, in my head, I'm like, okay, bottom. I call the 3rd pillar big brain pillar because I always check that one first, and then the 2nd pillar in the 4 pillar room is little brain pillar, and then the 1st pillar is just always the pillar of regret because that's the one everybody checks first, and then 4th pillar is always just 4th pillar. There's no cute nickname for that one. It's the TFC of pillars.
So we got big brain, little brain, and then pillar 4.
Yeah, and the regret pillar. Because I hate when it's 1st pillar, because I never go to 1st pillar, and I know everyone else does, and it's just always backfires.
If I saw that right, it looks like Davis has 8 shards. I think that is the first breakpoint for experience.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that is... I don't know. As Ragnarok gets through the pillar maze here and is checking the boxes, I think he had 4 shards. So you're an hour in, Dead Pulse. You have 4 shards or 8 shards. How do you feel?
Oof.
Yeah. Do you just assume that you're way behind?
I have to assume that the other runner is having these problems as well.
All that effort for Vanilla Tail and Gargoyles with Thunder.
I have to check my notes, but there was something that the White Mage could learn that was promotion lock, though.
Mm-hmm. But we have that black belt that can't wear ribbons, so we're not going to promote for a while, I would imagine. Wow, Sharknado loaded with prisms. And not the eye we want to see. This is not the eye we want to see. We get turn order. Katana +9! Equip it! Equip it! Oh my god! And, ooh. 3 hit, 6 damage, and
yeah.
that is...
The world seemed so much brighter for 5 seconds.
That is a sobering experience. There's I think what we're witnessing on Davis's side is frustration, mild hint of tilt, and just exasperation. Because not only did we get that awesome bait with the Katana 9, we lost that black belt grind. We lost all that time that we spent killing sharks.
And you're still going to have to go back in and fight those phantoms twice.
Yep. But I think we can do that check first. And that we might be able to get better turn order and run with 3 party members instead of 2. Well, I hope everybody's got plans tonight, because we're going to be here for a while. This is just getting started. We're still not in the air. It's an hour 6 minutes in. Both of our runners, both dealing with their own elements of frustration here. Davis did have a shard lead. I would imagine it's sort of evened out now that we've wiped out of this. And Ragnarok finds a mythical blue stake. Gonna electrocute it. Davis getting all these prisms. And we're gonna heal up, and we want that katana. We need that katana. But we're not gonna go for that katana. Okay.
At least he's got the information that is there.
If you're just tuning in, we have a Final Fantasy randomizer match that is just like starting to take shape. This flag set, we're looking at entrance floor shuffle. We got Spellcrafter on. We have hard-hitting enemies, even harder-hitting bosses. We have progression locations in so many different locations. We have party that we're building along the way through our tavern mode. I hope you like FFR, because this is, you hang out with us, you're going to get to see quite a show. Both of these runners, experienced runners, and they're, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, it may look like they're really struggling here, but this is, I mean, there's only so much you can do with this sort of a flag set at the moment, and I think both of our runners are handling it very well.
Yeah, I know personally I couldn't be doing this well. I'd still be stuck trying to get into the dwarf cave.
I'd have 4 fighters. No.
4 white mages.
Yeah, 4 white mages. Davis doesn't want to go to the Mirage floor, and Ragnarok going back, gonna turn in that crown. And you can see that vitality on that red mage, like a firecracker or firework. That's the word I'm looking for. Just exploding. Already 334 HP on it.
So what happens here if you turn in the crown and all of a sudden it's floater? Like, how do you feel at that point, knowing that you had the crown for 35 minutes?
Relief. Like, relief. And then it's when you start checking airship locked locations, that's when you're just like, for me, that's when it starts kicking in, like, oh, they probably already found this like an hour ago. You know, and maybe not an hour ago, but, you know, like, that's when it just starts kicking in that. But immediately it's just relief, and then probably some hint of frustration at the seed, but probably, yeah, I think at the end of the day, the winning emotion is relief. Because finally we can go somewhere. We can go see new places. We can check Gaia. We can check Lefane. We can find Elfland. Elfland is such an important town with this level of tavern mode. Having 4 shops for magic in that town, super important. And we still haven't found a vendor item. Oh no, we did. We found it. It was Ruby. Excuse me.
And Davis picked up Pro Ring 7. That's a nice addition.
Yep, that's basically chainmail that you can equip on your wrists. Now see if Ragnarok remembers which flight of stairs it was that led us to Northwest. Question from Shadows. No loose yet. We have not found a loose item yet. And Dave is going to get a bunch of experience dumped into the black belt here, but this is where's the problem town? So black belt in the middle of a dungeon here is big time yikes.
You may have to correct me on this, but I know that a ribbon is in the incentive pool. Is it possible that the ribbon they found was the loose?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, excellent point. With ribbon as an incentive item. Yeah. It's
and that katana
that we found. Mm-hmm. As there are 3 ribbons in the vanilla pool and 2 katanas.
Huh?
It's possible that one of those rolled the loose item.
You want to watch your show?
It's possible, but I don't think it's likely.
I'm very captivated by what I'm doing. So. might have to get you to get me like a water or a beer or something because I'm thirsty.
I don't mind the loose ribbon possibility.
I'm fine.
I came in to the community during Spring Tournament 2019 when loose ribbon was a thing, and Ragnarok finally going to the marsh split bottom finds a Tia floor. We don't know what's here, so that's 3 of our 4 feed floors.
Like,
we have not found the Kraken floor
play
yet.
out. It's playing out.
And Ragnarok says, "Oh no, Grandpa Simpson's is way out of there." Says, "No, I don't have a strategy for killing whatever fiend's back here. Let me go back." Not where I parked my car. And Davis just continuing to flirt with danger here. Ragnarok back onto this floor where we've seen him on this floor before. Don't know if he checked all these boxes before though. The hole gets deeper for Davis as we're now on Earth 2. Ragnarok gets some good XP there killing a Gurnaga. But unfortunately he does not have the 8 shards to get that first cutoff going. That black belt with like 65 absorb right now is pretty good for Davis. Opal 6, Pro Ring +7.
Yeah, but black belt had the Opal bracelet on when the Phantom struck it for 350, even through all that absorb.
Yeah, but now we've got a Pro Ring +7 at least on it. So Marsh Bottom here is incentivized, but we need the key to get in. But we're going to be thorough, and we know that there's a loose out there.
Possibly.
Well, I mean, there's going to be a loose. We don't know if it's going to be a loose key item, but we're not going to check this spike tile. We're going to find another prism. Not going to check the marsh box, though. I guess that's a safe call. With solo black belt, we don't know what's there. Could blow us up, make us feel bad. Alright, there's Ragnarok picking up that crown again. So he did not have the crown before that whole time. He had wiped out of it. And I wonder, I would imagine Davis is feeling a little more comfortable at the moment, but 65 absorb and
yeah, you've got a fire 3 stick, lightning 4, hammer. Like if I'm in Marsh Cave, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you've got a heal 2 +7 helmet, so a heal 9 helmet. Ragnarok gets to the Sky 3. When he wiped out of here, he did not make it this far. So this is an excellent floor to find. 14 boxes to open. Let's start up top.
Yeah, let's hope they're 14 prisms.
Werewolves with Rub 5. There's that ATI 7 stick you bought. There's a free one.
Don't spend that 2 gold all in one place. I'm warming up to what Davis is doing right now. It may look risky, but I mean, just funneling all that experience to that black belt's really going to help.
Yeah, it's the safest walking grind, right? You're not going to get a ton of XP, but it's something's better than nothing. And it's the same sort of thing that Ragnarok's doing here with all 3 party members, but Ragnarok's got a better quality of fight here.
I mean, I held my breath when Davis stepped on that trap tile, but
This might be a server. Oh, they crit pretty hard, and they've got toxic. So let me just walk that back. Although Pro Ring helps with toxic, but that's a prism. Now, if that got us to 14 prisms. So I probably would have stayed on those frost wolves for a little bit.
he might be feeling the sting of losing that grind earlier.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to get back on that horse eventually. With the black belt, that's all you really can do. Is you just grind it to a bajillion and start melting it, like doing your best Kraken and impersonation. Almost said.
Oh, you can hit for 2,000. So can I.
NPC guillotine, like the game, like that. So you were talking earlier about how wonderful the FFR dev team is, and just to reiterate that, like the amount of work that they put into this game, and the little things that you don't know you needed until they're there. And like, I came into this game before NPC guillotine was a thing, but I can't imagine playing the game without it now. And there's so many little features like that that have just sort of caught on and took root in the community, like the blurst gear. I'm hoping and Ragnarok gets his second ribbon, so that's huge for him. Wow. Wow, 2 ribbons. That's massive.
I'm feeling good right now if I'm
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
In a really good spot here. But yeah, like some of the features that the devs introduced, like it's stuff you didn't even know you wanted. Like the shop information just out of nowhere, just super handy. I can't see the game never having, like, not having that as an option in the future. You know, like every tournament, like it's gonna just be, I think for some flag sets it's almost needed when you're playing with the blurst classes and it's chaos mode. And there's a nice prism check for Ragnarok. That's an often skip box and pays off with a prism. One of my newer favorite features that is added and it's a very niche experience, but the developer Wildham created a flag set, or just a flag option called Lich's Revenge. And I don't want to spoil too much of it, but if you haven't played the game, just turn on like in the vanilla-ish default setting, go down to experimental, turn on Lich's Revenge, and then just make a couple tweaks there along the way and just go have fun with it. Everything in the game is different, from the NPC text to just bosses and stuff. It's so much fun. There's so many great options out there. Davis, closer and closer to getting out of here. What are some of your favorite flag or game options that are available?
I might be in the minority, but I love when you have between 2 and 4 loose items.
Yeah, big same. I like the loose item meta strategy sort of gameplay as well.
Yeah, and I love clamped bosses. Maybe not 150 to 500, but definitely 100 to 300, or even 150 to 300 is still great.
Yeah.
I also do like the flair that Burt Reynolds put up some asyncs that were just all about routing. I had a lot of fun doing those.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to play this game, and I think that's probably my favorite thing about the randomizer itself. Is you might go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, see the webpage, see all the options, and get overwhelmed. But that's what the folks in the Discord are for, to help explain it, make sense of it, and kind of point you in the right direction to make a flag set that's curated specifically for the experience that you're looking for. On the other hand, like, there's so many options. I think again, we're going to keep talking about Burt Reynolds. Did like napkin math, and there's more flag options and seed options than there are like known stars in the universe or something like that. Like, it was just ridiculous. So there's bound to be a randomizer option that is perfect for you, and whether that's a flag set that's designed for racing or playing competitively, or just a casual run through. Like, we have Final Fantasy 1 lovers of all types on the Discord server, as Ragnarok finds our 4th Fiend dungeon here. So all 4 Fiend floors not locked behind the airship. Granted, they're not necessarily necessary, but this is a 4 prism check here, and if this is Lich or maybe Carry, like, we might be okay here. We already know Kraken's off the table, so as long as this isn't Tiamat, this is a winnable fight. If we had invis charges, gotta hope that Carry doesn't punch too hard. Ice 3 is going to be a nice opening start, though. Temper 8 on the punch. Temper 8 hitting the whole party. Temper 8 swing, 2 hits, 2 damage, 1 hit, 1 damage. We're gonna need to get some more Timbers out there. But first,
We're almost there.
let's get the wall going. Not in time to save Punch from that paralysis. And Boo is out of magic. Gonna keep the temp 8s coming, and hope that Carry doesn't punch, because if Carry punches punch, this could be a problem. But we're starting to get damage done. We're going to use our last Temper 8. Hopefully punch stands up. It is a 25% chance to stand up when you are paralyzed each round, and it is not happening yet, but we're getting some damage out of these mages. But Carry starts punching, and that's when Carry gets scary. Another Fire 8 sword for 117 damage. I'd throw that Cure 7 out just to see if that has the same effectiveness as a Cure 4 in the vanilla game. But punch stands up. And now we're gonna dump the Cure 7 into punch. And we're gonna miss. Slow 5, and now we're just holding A and praying now. 1 hit, 278. Ragnarok gets through, is gonna light this orb and get 4 shards for his trouble, and better yet, gets warped out of the dungeon. So Ragnarok lights his orb in theory, but gets the nice 4 shard boost there. Gotta feel
that's
pretty
gotta
good.
be nice, yeah.
Yeah.
And Davis working closer to level 32. We're at 28 on the black belt.
It's going to be pretty good. I wonder if we're going to hit 32 and then try to punch our way through the Phantom to get that katana. Could be scary. Alright, this is I can't even say like who's ahead, who's behind. Like, Ragnarok might have a shard lead now, but Davis getting this black belt activated is gonna speed up so much time for him, like in making some of these later checks, because that black page is gonna be able to, or black belt's gonna be able to mow through all kinds of stuff.
And yeah, there's a couple of towns we haven't seen. We don't even know what else is available at the pubs for a 4th party member.
Yeah. Well, we should. They don't have it. Double check the flags real quick. Yeah, it's pretty standard. So in standard tavern mode, there's going to be a shop for every class, and one class will have 2 shops. So right now we know that there's 2 white mage shops, with one in Canaria, and I think the other was in or Gaia? The Gaia town where we found that. So Elfland and what's the other town? I guess we haven't found Gaia. I guess it was Onrak that had the other white mage, but we still gotta find Gaia and Elfland, and they're gonna be in Gaia and Lefane locations. And there will be our black mage and thief. Yeah, so if you're hanging out, watching the race with us, appreciate you being here, hanging out with us. Be sure to join the Discord, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You can find a link for it there. You can also find a link to the Dev Discord if you got an interest in sort of developing stuff for the game. We have the devs have a really good relationship with new people coming on. It's all like open source stuff on the GitHub. So if you got any experience, you want to, there's our Rod. So we're going back. We're going back to that vampire box.
Because of course we are.
So wait, so that means that the Earth, the rod lock is blocking the ice cave loop, and that the ice cave loop has the key or the floater. If it's the key, oh my, and then we got to go back to the marsh lock location to get the floater out of there. Oh man, this is going to be quite the wild ride. But yeah, going back to what the devs have done is, Punch got stoned by Astos with Glance. So, and Astos showing off what a 500% Astos looks like, saying, "Can't catch me." You need that lock. Astos already high in evasion, but there's a crit that bursts through. Takes down Astos, so we get the rod. Oh boy. Yeah, so newer developers, programmers come in all the time and help out. Retro Fan Man joined the community and developed the Blurst Weapons flag that has been super popular since the end of the spring tournament. Wildhand been around for a long time, just kind of lurking in the background, and through the spring tournament sort of became more ingrained with the community and started helping out. Like I said, has developed so many awesome flags. And then there's like the developers that have been around for a long time helping out the game, doing all kinds of fun, neat stuff. Nits, Meridian, Septimus are all helping out. And of course, Entroper keeps hinting at some sort of major change, and it's got all of us sort of curious. The general, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I know a lot of people have suggested it might be ProcGen Overworld or something like that. But so we can be like Dragon Warrior Randomizer, but I don't know. Crazy. All right. Ragnarok trying to get out of this dungeon, trying to save this progress. We're so close.
Every time they get 1-2 floors away from getting out with loot, I just hold my breath, hope for the best.
Cross your fingers, and oh man, and Davis is coming in. He's coming to Northwest. This is where he's got to be, but big difference here is Davis has all of this to check, because I don't think he got very far into it before. And we're running out of options here, and it's a shame that Ragnarok has not found a soft potion. I did see that there was like soft 7 or soft 5 was a spell that was available, which isn't going to do anything different than a normal soft spell would. It's just showing you that the spell soft rolled into the 5th level, a 5th level slot. And we're in high 5 territory, as we're on the same floor now. And thanks to Tina Butt for the subscription to SpeedGaming. Definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hope that's a Bob's Burgers reference. I love that show. Yep, we're high-fiving right now.
So we found all 4 of the Fiend's locations, but Davis hasn't taken on any of them. That's 12 shards, if my my math is correct.
It is. Trenton would yell at you for doing math, but you are correct. So the way the shard count works for the Fiends, they are not required to kill, but if you do kill them, Tiamat, the boss on the Tiamat floor, the boss on the Kraken floor, because it doesn't matter if you have shuffled Fiends on or not, the shards are specifically tied to those floors. Will net you 4 shards apiece if you kill Carry or Lich, or the bosses on the Carry or Lich floor. They will net you 2 shards apiece. Question from Least Grieve. What are shards? If you're familiar with Link to the Past Randomizer and the Dorito Hunt, where they break up the Triforce into a million little pieces and they're all in boxes, that's very similar to what Shard Hunt is for FFR, but instead of the Triforce, we're breaking up the 4 elemental orbs and we are scattering them around in boxes. So the requirement to have all 4 orbs lit to gain entry to the Temple of Fiends Revisited is negated, and instead we gotta find however many shards we need. And when you're in setting up the flags, you can set it for a specific number of shards, or you can set it for a range of shards. Our runners today set it up for a range of 24 to 32 shards. Both runners will have to find the exact same number of shards. Both runners will find shards in the same boxes. Shards in the game are programmed to replace stuff like heal potions. So, I think that covers it. I think that covers shards basically for the most part. And our runners also have the shards tied to their experience boosts. So for every 8 shards they find, they will get 25% extra experience. And Davis gets that crown and says, wait a minute, I just saw Astosis floor. Let me go back and do that real quick, because if that's the floater, I'm out of here. Little does he know. Ooh, Ragnarok? I thought Ragnarok was going to do the spicy pre-promotion, or pre-42 promotion for the black belt, but no.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time swallowing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you could put a ribbon on it, it wouldn't be an issue. But without the ability to equip a ribbon onto that black belt, promoting before really level 47, 48 is a problem. And thank you to Warmet Gaming for the raid. Appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. We have an Irongol heavy metal matchup between the Gambler Ragnarok784 challenging the Professor Davis in this entrance 4 shuffle, recruit them as you go, sort of beat them up, high percent bosses flag set. This is Ragnarok's like, hang on a second, where was that rod lock? And you got to go back to the Temple of Fiends for that.
Yeah, both of these runners, great racers. We're an hour and 35 minutes in. It's anyone's game.
Yeah. Ragnarok coming off a break following the spring tournament and just jump back onto that racing horse. Davis, newer to the community, joined right after the spring tournament ended, took part in the Duck Derby over the summer, and has really sort of made a name for himself. Has come in on every Saturday night. We call the Irongol RN Kilo Hardcore Championship races, where we race these sort of flags, like these higher challenge difficulty flags, every Saturday night at 10 p.m. And Davis has won that belt a handful of times. So Davis, a knowledgeable runner. I won't call him a veteran runner yet because he's still new, right? He's still a little newer to the community. I won't slap the veteran tag on him just yet, but he's a heck of a runner, very knowledgeable, very good at this game, and I'm sure he's going to really make a name for himself in the next spring tournament. People are going to know who Davis is for sure. And Ragnarok looking to shake that rust off and get back into the swing of things from spring tournament 2020. And Davis finds Astos, so so while we got runners tidying up their respective checks, I do want to give a shout out to Danny383 and Rocksolid84 for doing the tracking for us. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenes to keep track of, and they're doing a great job taking the notes for us, giving us the information so we don't look like complete fools up here just talking sideways out of our face. And I want to thank you, Deadpools, for hopping in the booth, man. This is his first FFR race calling, and it's always fun to have new folks hanging out in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, thanks. I'm a huge fan of you specifically, Caleb. Not to suck up or anything, but I love when you announce races, and
Aw, thanks, Boo.
you live up to expectations.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. So, Davis? Oh, come on, Davis. Go. Oh, I wanted him to take on the Tiamat boss. But, yeah, if you're interested in helping out, being a volunteer like Deadpulse or Rock Solid, both newer to the community, jumping right in, helping out with the race crew stuff, there's an avenue for that for you, too. Lots of ways to help out, even if racing isn't your scene. I know we have a lot of folks in the community, like I said, that they don't get into the speedrunning thing. Maybe it's a little bit too much anxiety. Maybe they just don't really get the level of enjoyment out of it, but they'd rather casually play the game and help out with race crews. I know when I first started in the community, Woat helped me out a lot on commentary, and Woat is, by his own admission, one of those runners that is just likes to casually play the game and make what he calls like Woat special flags, where he'll just turn off overworld saving and just like, you go do this. If you ever want an interesting flag experience, ping Woat and see what he comes up with.
Ragnarok finally buying a soft.
It's about time, Ragnarok. I was going to say,
It's
just
been
in general.
15 minutes.
I mean, maybe he's trying to get some strength levels on those mages for dragging around that statue all over the world. But to quote Lord Fizzlebeef, welcome to FFR. It's not always this.
Yeah, don't let this scare you off. This is really advanced.
Oh, and there's Tiamat and Carrie. So that is Lich in the Tiamat spot. So Lich and Lich and Carrie on the Kraken and Tiamat floors respectively. That is huge information that Ragnarok has now. That he knows, if I want 4 free shards, let me just go blow up that Bridge of Destiny, because Lich arguably the biggest pushover of the initial Fiends, and an easy way through to get 4 shards so huge. Man, I love Fiend Shuffle, man.
Yeah, Tiamat at the Lich Square, that is the definition of not worth it.
Yeah, well, it's Kraken, but Kraken was at Lich.
Oh, that's even worse.
If you've got a low level Brack or Bane, you can make it work. Especially like in this dwarf cave, it's the first floor down. You can just park a tent outside, and just in like 3 minutes you can make like 10 attempts.
Looking through Magic, have we seen anything that our runners could use to possibly do that?
No, I don't think we've seen a Brack or Bane type spell. We do have the kill 8, but you gotta get it down there a little bit before I don't know what I would imagine the threshold's still 300 for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still a power word spell.
Yeah. Davis finding more prisms, giving us a look there. He's doing the math. He just hit 16 prisms, so he's just got to hit another 25% boost to his XP. And Ragnarok going to give this one the old college try. Firing off another temper. Getting the Invis 7 up. That's huge. Going to need a couple of those, though.
Yeah, with all that absorb that punch has, and still being hit for that much.
Mm-hmm. But at least we're surviving. This is
That is step one.
This is a slog. Step 1: keep your HP above 0 while reducing the enemy's HP to 0. Looks like we got enough evasion. We're going to start firing some Bolt 8s into this Tiamat. Tiamat could have up to 5,000 HP here, so Bolt 8 gonna need a lot of them. Because it only looks like we're doing 100 damage apiece. We need Tiamat to stop resisting so much of this lightning damage. His punch is only hit for 1.
Even so, you're down to 5 bolt casts left.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a crit for 88, but we're gonna need to do more than that. If this Tiamat just has a punch script, though, we could be okay, but we might be getting better damage with those swords. 2 hits, so we got a crit there for 100 damage. Neck 8 for 171, not bad, but we're running out of magic for Boo. She's gotta start swinging that sword. We'll see what that flame sword's doing. Another Bolt 8 for 141. Oh, she's got the, looks like the giant plus 8 sword. 2 hits for 89, so it looks like Tiamat doesn't have any spells or skills, so this is just gonna be hoping that Tiamat doesn't crit. If Tiamat crits, we're, oh, speak of the devil, 234 damage against Marl. Feels bad, but just enough time to get another Temp 8. Now that's got to be our strategy. Just dump those Temp 8s and hope Tiamat doesn't crit anymore. But there we go. We get the crit. T is down. We're going to get 2 more shards here. And
that wasn't a ton of health.
No. So she rolled a little low, and Ragnarok at 13 shards. Still no sign of that floater. We know that it's probably behind the rod lock in Temple of Fiend, or yeah, the Temple of Fiend's entrance. And Ragnarok's just on the world tour to get no. I think that was Kraken. We don't want Kraken. We want the Tiamat floor because we know that's Lich.
Yeah, one more fiend down. He can go and do a grind with his black belt. Hopefully, get up to 32. Maybe even just go to 42 at that point.
Yeah, I'm not even exaggerating. I think 50 is the play. With the black belt not being able to equip a ribbon and 500% bosses, that black belt's gonna need all the survivability that he can get. And with the way the black belt gains magic defense, with gaining 4 for every level. For every level up you get 4. So if you got to get to like 47, 48 before you have enough M-Def that you're basically wearing a ribbon when it comes to stuff like Bane. So I think you got to go all the way to 50. There's no reason not to. And maybe you don't need to take your mages that high. But it's that black belt. Might as well.
You know, an hour 46 in, my goal is to get into Topher as soon as possible, just to see what those bosses are going to do to me.
And we know that Topher's airship locked, so that floater is required. Because we have not found Temple of Fiends yet. We've not found Canary Castle yet. Canary Castle holds 3 key items for us.
And this is where the stress has to be coming in. You're pushing the 2-hour mark. You haven't found the floater. You have no idea if your opponent has.
And Ragnarok's still trying to remember where that Earth Cave was. I think he's putting it together that he's got to go to Temple of Fiends. So earlier the question was asked, how long are these flags going to take? And I said about 2 hours. What if I told you I was wrong?
Going in, I'm like, these flags could take an hour and a half. They could take 3 hours.
Yeah, it really, I mean, and these flags very well could. It's just this particular seed is proving to be problematic for the way the spells and key items shook out.
Now, my thought is we've got 3-man parties on both sides. You're getting to the point where you've got to start thinking about either getting a 4th party member so you can get experience, because if you pick them up after you get the floater, you don't have a good grind with them. How useful are they actually going to be?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I mean, counterpoint to that is by the time we get in the air, we get to Elfland, we find our Black Mage, because I'd imagine that's what we're holding out for. We're holding out for the Black Mage. I probably would have just committed to the Black Belt Fighter Red-White. But if we're holding out hope for the Black Mage, maybe they have like a really cool blurse, like maybe they have the Sage class where they can learn all of the magic from both spell books. Sage class probably the most OP blurse, but there's also one called Improved MP, which won't really matter here because our spells are capped at 6 for the white and black mages. But depending on what that black mage has, it'll level up pretty quick, because the longer we go into the game, the more shards we're going to have, the greater that XP boost is. We can put down the white and red mage and just have the black belt carry the black mage to like level 21, level 24, and by that time maybe we have some like grind synergy and our black belt is now also in that 42-45 range, and we can then promote and get any promotion like magic that we were looking for.
Yeah, I like that. My concern would be if the Black Mage rolls something like, low vitality or low health or lower MP.
Yeah, I mean, the upside is we're working with 4 bonuses. That in and of itself is, we're going to get something nice on that Black Mage. And Ragnarok back to the Rodlock. So, how trolly will this seed get? We are looking for. We know that this has to bottom out into an incentive floor, or it could be Matoya. So it could be Matoya that has the floater. It could be Ice Cave Loop. It could be Ice Cave Loop. Ice Cave Loop or Matoya, I think, is the only outcomes here. Now, it could give us the key, which could send us back to that marsh bottom. But we're just going to keep going because we don't have Exeter Warp. There's no way
who
out
needs
of this.
those things?
There's no way out of this other than walking. So we have to be judicious with our spell charges and not burn through all of them on the way down, because all the spell charges we burn going down are going to be the spell charges we're missing as we're going back up. And so picking our spots, running when we can, gunning when we have to. David's going to take on the Kraken fight. And it's the waterfall. Okay, so I forgot about the waterfall, because that's not listed as one of the locations. This counts as a main NPC for the robot here. So robot, is it going to be the key or just floater directly? Get those guesses in chat. I guess it also could be the herb. We found Elfland Castle, but we don't have the herb to give. It could be the Oxyale, which kicks us back to the Onrak town in the Onrak location. And we found an Agama tile. So Ragnarok might really consider time to get my black belt up.
What is that, 600-700 HP on those?
I wasn't counting. I was checking chat. As we got Zardia hanging out with us. Good to see you, Zard. Calling for the herb on the robot. He wants to see the troll bot.
Oh, that's brutal.
It's the herb! Zar calling it in chat. And we get a prism. And another prism. So 2 prisms. Hey, that's pretty good. So...
I shouldn't be cackling, but that's kind of funny.
The ZaRNG synergy activates, and we hit a breakpoint. That must have been the 16th shard. That Agama gave a little bit more XP than it did the first time on who took that fight. So good opportunity for Ragnarok to take some fights here. And Davis now cleaning up his Fiend fights, taking out Carry at the Kraken floor, gonna try to take out the Tiamat on the Carry floor. Bert calling out another fun feature that the devs implemented, the multi-instrumentalist Sarah, which changes the musical instrument of the lute to one of like 40 options. Everything from a hurdy-gurdy to a bass drum to a guitar to a banjo. I've played a lot of these seeds. I still don't think I've seen the end of the list.
I love playing these seeds, and all of a sudden I get a tuba.
Yeah, it's like... but Bert calling for the Gourmand Sarah flag or Gourmand Elf Prince, where it's not just herb, it's a specific herb. Thyme, rosemary, sage. I wonder if I don't think there could be any synergy between the Sarah. I don't think there's any herbs off the top of my head that match instrument names, but I could be wrong. Alright, so Davis gonna try to take out this Tiamat. We know that Tia's got a lot of absorb, and we did not get evasion up, so we're gonna instead lean on fog, and when there's not crits, it's pretty okay. They hit for 7 hits, 7 damage, but when he got that crit through, 250 is Bert already back to the vampire floor. Davis
that Tiamat is crit happy.
Davis trying to run from this fight. It's not gonna happen, bud. But getting crits of his own in. Oh. So not a whole lot of time lost here. This is what I was kind of talking about, where the Fiend is on the first floor, you can just kind of park and just reset. Try it again. Try to get better turn order here. And sticking with the fog strats. Fog 7's pretty good. It's a shame we don't have that invis for the red mage. Keep the fog 7s rolling. Ragnarok one floor closer to getting out of this place. Gotta get through this Earth 3, and then I think it's pretty much smooth sailing from here. Down goes the red mage. Switching from fogs to temps. 4 hits, 254. We're getting there. Unfortunately, Temper and Fog 7 sharing the spell slot. Now, unfortunately, crits don't usually care about absorb. Now, if we get ridiculously high absorb, it will eat into how much damage those crits are hitting for, but it's really kind of tough to favor absorb strats versus evasion strats. Unfortunately for Davis, we don't have a method of raising evasion. And going with the rub 5. And he gets it! Wow. Love it. Davis throwing the rub. That's awesome.
Yeah, 2 hours in and something good finally happens.
Now I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you seem to have a little bit more experience with the Spellcraft flag, but I think Rub 5, when it gets to a certain level, it does have slightly improved accuracy. I think.
I don't know.
Cool. Alright, what's the herb gonna be? Blinking GIF. The Blinking Man GIF. Excuse me, what?
Well,
Ribbon 6? Okay, let's go back and unpack what we've abandoned. What did we miss? Did we miss a loose item somewhere? A loose progression? I'm looking at the list and it looks like it. It looks like we may have. I feel like we've opened every box. So now Ragnarok's wheels are spinning. Wheels are spinning. And this is where we're 2 hours in. This has got to be progression, is what you're thinking, turning that in, and it's not, and you feel like the rug is pulled out from underneath you. Now we have the cube block, but we don't have a cube to get through that.
Now wouldn't that be something? Loose cube somewhere, send you all the way back to Marsh Cave entrance.
What boxes? I guess no one checked the long hallway boxes and the volcano armory. Right? I think those, if there's boxes, or the Earth 1, I think no one's checked Earth 1.
I believe you're correct on that one.
So we've got Earth 1, we've got Earth TFC here on this floor, and the volcano armory, but Davis is going to check it. Okay, Danny, our tracker, pointing out in the notes that she thinks Ragnarok checked Earth 1. So I think it's it's got to be volcano armory then. Oh, buddy, you remember that conversation we were having about an hour and a half ago? One loose item with all this junk in the pool. What are the odds that the loose is going to be required?
Well, you were correct. The that ribbon that they found was not the loose.
Mm-hmm. And Rock Solid in the notes letting me know that he thinks that all the armory boxes were open, but then something's got to give.
I do remember them visiting the armory.
Yeah,
but I don't remember them visiting the long, windy chest.
Images with Fog 7. Trying the Light Warrior strat here. Oh, I don't have evasion magic, but we have this and we have instant deaths. So Images trying to do their best impersonation of the Light Warriors. Like, let me just get my buffs up and start firing out these instant kill strats. Images having learned their lessons from Dangwu. But we can run from them. And Davis gets another ribbon, so that's his second ribbon. Alright, so get those guesses in chat. I know it's kind of hard to try to figure out where the loose are with how many boxes are still out there, and knowing which boxes were checked, which ones weren't wiped out of. But question from Tina, but does anyone think there's a definitive winner at this point? I think it's chat and us here, the viewers, watching both these runners sort of show off their talent with a very challenging seed. And now Davis is playing this has got to be progression. 2 hours in, I found the waterfall. Well, rip your hopes and dreams, Davis. This isn't what you're looking for. It's the real friends, the real winners, the friends we made along the way, right?
I like the cut of your jib.
All right, Ragnarok, doing the. Did I go crazy and not open these boxes checks and doubling back?
That is when it starts to feel bad. We've been watching them, and we can't remember what they checked. How are they supposed to?
And it's one of those things like you start rubbing your head. Wait, did I forget to talk to Bicky or something like that? And now Dave's like, okay, here's the herb. The herb's gonna be my floater. What if I told you it's gonna be your third ribbon, Davis?
Are we full on shards?
No. Even if we were, we still don't have Temple of Fiends. So. Ragnarok derusting so much that. Well, I guess there was a bunch of mummies there. Harm never going to work on those birds, but. It's like. It will work on the mummies that they're paired with. Alright, check in this room. I know that I think there are 3 prisms here. In this room, maybe just 3 prisms. Yeah, just the 3 prisms here in less than greater than, but I think Ragnarok's 6 shards away. So we might actually be closer to the end game than we realize.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at Davis's screen again once he goes into the menu, but I swear I saw it all filled.
Yeah, so we might go from where the heck is the progression to, okay, I'm in the air, let me just go find Temple of Fiends and blow this up and try to 3-man a 500% clamped Topher. I mean, luckily for our runners, it is a short Topher, so they can throw themselves against it for a while. And Ragnarok skipping boxes, not checking everything. We know that it's likely a loose that is eluding us. Man, what a wild ride this seat has been in Dead Pulse.
I concur, and I agree with Shadows from chat that Davis definitely has the black belt levels, so if you had to twist my arm and tell me who's ahead, that's the only reason I would have to say someone.
What level's his black belt? Because unless his black belt's 42, I think we still got XP to get. I mean, 30. If he's at least 32, yeah, he's in a comfortable spot. But with just how nasty these tier 1 fiends have been, you ramp that up to 11 with the refights. And maybe you get lucky and left or right side is Lich and Carry, but you can't. You can hope for that, but you can't plan for that. Like, you have to plan for at least seeing Kraken or Tiamat, and both of whom are incredibly scary. I'd argue Kraken's scarier than Tiamat and Temple of Fiends Revisited, but Tiamat can roll super high absorb, super high evade, and without promotion, that Vorpal 5 is the best promotion sword we've seen, but we have found that Katana 9 for the Red Mage, which Davis knows where it is. He's got to fight a Phantom to get it. So when it comes to like high absorb, you really want critical hit rates. The Vorpal and the Katana, the best swords in the game for it. We do have the black belt nerfs are on, so its crit rate is halved. Still pretty good, but more driven by the number of hits that it's getting. Alright. Yep, and it looks like Davis does have full up shards, but he needs progression. I think we all need progression at this point.
You just got to get off the southern continent. Now, what you were saying before about planning for either take on Tiamat or Kraken, you still need to save some of your spells for chaos. So the management there is going to just be insane.
Davis just going through all this trouble to wake up this elf prince just to take the ribbon out his hair and just be like, I can't even use this. I'll just put it on this empty character slot that I don't have a light warrior for because my black belt can't use it. Ragnarok probably feels excited that he found the marsh floor, but without the key, this is not anything that we're going to be able to do anything with. We are, unbeknownst to our runners, hunting for a loose item. Whether it's loose key or loose floater remains to be seen. Or loose key to marsh lock floater.
That's the beauty of this seed. Just you have 23 out of 24 of your incentive items. There's one loose. What are the chances that that one loose is going to be what locks you for this game?
It's, yeah. The odds are so low, it feels like, but apparently higher than we anticipated. Davis getting extra prisms. I don't know if that impacts his bonus XP, because he had 31 and just got another one, so it doesn't show 32, but I wonder if his XP goes up a little bit for getting that one.
Now, I just saw that Ragnarok found his last shard that he needed. So within 3 minutes, the runners really have found everything that they needed, except for that loose item.
Mm-hmm. The hunt continues. And both of our runners they got to be experiencing some level of exasperation. So I think this is another question we're going to have to ask them in the post-game interview. A, why didn't they grab that fighter? Or even look at what his blouses were? B, let's talk about loose items.
I'm not going to say that not knowing what the fighter had is going to keep me up all night, but...
Yeah. I'm just curious at this point. But what's fascinating is we were talking about, you and I both share an appreciation for flag sets with loose items. You specifically said 2 to 4 loose items, and I think that's a good range. One loose item can be trolly, especially when you have 7 pieces of gear in the pool, on top of a tail, on top of a ruby, on top of all these little items or key items that might not be required anyway. And then for that one loose item to be required, it's such a kick in the shin.
And for me, it's about the hope. If you find that one loose item early, you're feeling great. But if you're at the 2 hour and 10 minute mark and you haven't found it, I don't know what's going through your head.
Good for Davis to remember where he parked his ship. I didn't remember where he parked his ship. I was like, where are you going, Davis? Yeah, and I think if you want to talk about like a meta game, sort of like you're in a 1v1 race setting, so much of it is you're not playing the seed. Like in a group race, you're playing the seed and you're taking advantage of like the group think and like, oh, if I go and do this one thing that nobody else is going to do, I might find a thing that they don't find for a while, get some sort of advantage. But in a 1v1, as much as you're playing the seed, you're playing your opponent. And what is, if you're Davis or if you're Ragnarok, what is Davis doing? Like, now Davis has found ordeals. He's like, okay, this is where progression is. And oh man, if Ragnarok came here early, Ragnarok's so ahead of me. But we're also looking at the clock. We're 2 hours, 12 minutes into this, and Ragnarok hasn't finished yet. So if you're Davis and you just found ordeals, you're thinking, has Ragnarok already been here? Is Ragnarok in Topher? Is Topher this nasty? Or you're like, I think the 1 to 5% chances that maybe Ragnarok hasn't come here yet. But I think that's a harder gamble to anticipate. And it's just like, I think if you're Davis and you just found ordeals, you feel behind until you check that box and you're just like, oh, this is the tail. Crap.
Well, don't you feel a little bit of relief? Because if you're worried that, you know, Ragnarok has gone here first, and you're like, oh, it's just the tail, you know, I'm safe here.
Yeah, I think you're like, yeah, okay, this is cool. But then it's just like, well, then where the heck is it? Where did I miss?
And then the real depression kicks in.
Yeah. But Ragnarok gets that Katana 9 and gotta be feeling pretty good about that. And he's in a much better place than Davis was when he found it. He's going to be able to get past this no problem. Yeah. So Davis digs up a Procate +2 at least, so that's pretty good. Ragnarok continuing to check boxes because he's got to figure something loose, and there you go, Davis. How do you react to this? We're looking at our notes.
Just the mental stun of seeing that.
It's him putting down his controller, heavy sigh, looking to his significant other and saying, I'm going to be a while. Go ahead, eat dinner without me. I thought I was going to be done by now. Or I guess at this hour of night, just go ahead and go to bed. I'll see you. I'll wake you up in a couple hours. Oh man. So Davis, reevaluating his life choices and figuring out what boxes did we leave behind. And Ragnarok in the same position. Davis sailing around looking for maybe there's been a dock added. Nope. This is man. There are no good feelings to be had, and I do want to just let everyone know I'm not like laughing at the runners. I'm laughing at the circumstances that we find ourselves in, and I'm sure both of our runners, when they come back and watch this VOD, they'll also probably feel a little bit better, or maybe they won't. Maybe this will just go down in infamy, and they'll just be like, maybe Davis and Ragnarok will form a rivalry based on this flag set. Like, why did I accept this?
You did this to me.
Yeah, I was asking because I misread the flags initially when I was talking to them in the race room. I thought it was open selection, like one party member open selection. That way you can look at all the different class blurses before you figure out who you're going to start the game with. But no, they chose random forced start and landed on the forced white mage, which wasn't the worst with the mixed spell books. Like, we were able to get off the ground running. It's really just been a matter of where the heck is this progression? And Davis doubling back, checking boxes. We know where Volcano Armory was. Northwest Castle, so Northwest Castle was where basically everything was, and it makes sense in my mind when it comes to my experience with the randomizer. Davis going to promote here at level 35. It's a calculated risk. I lost my train of thought. I was not expecting him to promote. So my experience when you're lately, I don't know if the logic of the randomizers changed or if this is literally just confirmation bias, but I found when I've had loose items, with or without Northern Docks on, 9 times out of 10 those loose land in the Inner Sea. The Inner Sea including Ice Cave, Volcano, but one of those Inner Sea entrances. And Northwest is the deep dungeon with all the splits and all the boxes. The likelihood of a loose item being in there is, in my mind, pretty high.
Yeah, I will second that. Every time I have Northern Docks on and I have loose items, I do feel like more loose items appear in the Southern continent.
Mm-hmm. Now I do like. I have seen them obviously, like loose in Sky. Sky has like 54 boxes in it, so. But when you're 2 hours, 15 minutes into the seed, and you've checked so many boxes that you've like wiped out of in the early game, like it's difficult to remember what you've orphaned. And I think that's both these runners newer-ish to the community. Davis been around for a few months. Ragnarok has been around for a better part of a year. Granted, with a large break there. There is a level of experience to what did I orphan? What boxes did I leave behind? Because if you're just LOL random with which boxes you leave behind, like I tend to be, and it sort of always bites you in the butt, you might forget. Like if you don't have a system in place, like when it comes to like the Volcano Army for, like I know that even if there's loose, I'm going to check the free box, I'm going to check the cluster, I'm going to leave everything else. So you at least know what you're always leaving behind. But it looks like Davis is... So, okay. So there's the long windy box. And I don't know if he checked that one. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. The plot is thickening here. But as Davis walks down this tunnel, there's a moment where we're all just reflecting on everything that we've done up to this point. And if is this the dang box? Is this where my progression is? The dumbfounded look on Davis's black belt's face, just a moment of silence. Heavy sigh. Let's get this seed finished.
You know, there's something about it being the floater and not being the key that makes me feel good.
Yeah. Also makes me feel bad that, again, it's that moment where, like, did Ragnarok check this? Am I, not to, no pun intended with rubes in the chat, am I that much of a rube that I left this behind and my opponent has this advantage? At 2 hours and 20 minutes digging up a loose floater when it was top level of a dungeon, like, you have to feel behind. He feels so behind that he's going to walk to the desert. I think we're seeing a little bit of tilt on Davis's side now. If you sail from the left coast of the inner sea over to the desert, that is a very it's quicker. You're not going to get as many encounters on the sea, but this is, I think we're seeing a little bit of a frustration play here from Davis. Little does he know, at 2 hours and 20 minutes, first runner to get the floater, first to get in the air. This seed isn't solved just yet, though. We still need to find the Temple of Fates.
But it's going to be as simple as finding the Temple of Fiends. We can immediately step in.
Unless Temple of Fiends is in the Onrak dungeon, then we got to find the Oxyale. But I think that's the only other hiccup that we could be working with. Level 3 Black Magic, first look. X for 8, Life 4, Heal 4. Okay. Fine.
Now, one more thing to credit about loose items. I mean, these races aren't won by checking every chest. You got to check the close ones. You got to skip a couple, but good on DVS for remembering, hey, these are the ones I skipped. And
there's our lock magic. So good thing you promoted that. Lock 3 locked to well, I guess it didn't matter that you promoted that. It's a white mage only spell. So nothing really worth writing home about in these level 3 and 4 magic shops. But we'd have another weapon and armor shop to check. Maybe we'll get a Masa. Maybe we'll get ribbons for sale, even though we don't need ribbons. Because we found all 3. Ragnarok inching closer and closer to that northwest check. And there's our Black Mage. No, thank you. Don't know what we were looking for there. Felt like Black Mage was what we would want there, but leaning into the fog strats here. Now it is worth noting that we interesting. Am I looking at the wrong flags? Because we have item magic, but I don't see item magic checked in the flag, so I was going to see if there's insert ruse item was on, but got me. Marsh top, not worth checking. We found the loose. It's a dud spot. We're going to save in the air, make this Cardia check as efficient as possible. Cardia bottom, there's Temple of Fiends. David says, please and thank you. Thunderclawed, curious about the ribbon placement. That black belt is unable to equip ribbons with the bonus malice combo that it rolled. And it is worth noting that he promoted well before. He promoted at like level 31, so we're going to be probably leaning on that red mage with the katana 9. It's Tiamat on the left side, not even worth our time. We're going to reset out, check the right side. Fortunately, got to get through Garland once more. And so we're coming back into Topher. So this is the thing. Davis gets in the air at the 2 hour 20 minute mark, 2 hours 24 minutes. We're already into Topher. So, but does not mean it's over for Ragnarok yet. He's about to walk into the dungeon that has his loose floater. Once again, 24 incentive items, 23 locations. What are the odds we got a loose floater? What if I told you 100%? Finds carry on right side. High absorb carry, 500% bosses. Everybody's going to be high absorb, high evade, but we're hitting. So, unfortunately, Ragnarok blew right past the top floor of this entrance, and he's going back to the split. So, he's chasing down something. I'm not sure what. Unless he thinks he's orphan boxes somewhere else. Meanwhile, Davis continues his carry 2 fight. 2 hits, 244. We're getting there, but carry. Big punch there. Takes out the white mage.
This will teach you to disrespect carry.
This seed will teach both of these runners valuable lessons about high-level clamps and loose items and the interaction. And carry busts out the Cure 7. So that shows us that Cure 7 is the Cure 4 of this seed. So we gotta look at what we're doing here. What's our strategy? What's our plan of attack? So we have high absorb, high evade, Tiamat on one side, and we've got carry with Cure 7, Cure 4, basically. What do we do? What do you do here, Deadpulse?
I try one more time. I try exactly what he's doing. If I bounce out, I'm gonna go get 15 levels of my black belt. And I'm gonna come back at, the 2 hour 50 minute mark.
All right, gonna try carry after Tiamat one punched our black belt. Go with the fog strats. Get that armor up.
Yeah, carry's still packing heat though. I mean,
and Davis doesn't have the evasion magic that Ragnarok has. So Davis never went. Did Davis go back for level 2 magic for that red mage?
I don't believe so.
Spells, yeah, next time he casts spells, I gotta take a look at that menu because I don't think he did either. But we're gonna do what you suggested. We're gonna we were gonna check Ryan tiles, but we don't have a key. So we're gonna just open some boxes, and I think this is, I don't know what we could be hoping for in a box. Maybe that other katana, but we know that other katana is now incentivized. That the katana we found wasn't loose. So Czar with the veteran suggestion, go recruit another party member and get somebody else up front to hit. Just get that ablative meat shield up there.
Or just a sacrificial meat shield.
Yeah, just somebody up there. Just get up there. Give me one extra round to survive. But there's got to be an adjustment here coming from Davis soon. I understand that the frustration that he's probably dealing with right now, like it's 2.5 hours in, it was top level loose floater, Ragnarok's in Topher, he's doing the same thing I'm doing. I gotta just try to punch through this, but you gotta take a step back, refocus. I would go check the other Cardi entrances. If Canaria Castle's there, that's 3 potential checks. If they're one of the Princess or the King has the key, then it's 3. If not, it's still 2 checks. It could be a defense sword. We don't know what magic rolled on a defense sword. If that is a ruse item or an invis item, that's a game changer. If it's the power gauntlet with something rolled onto it, if it's the Masa and the Masa rolled +9, are you kidding me? Like there's so many things that could be in Cardia Swamp or Cardia Forest. I think you have to check them because Canary Castle has to be there. So if Davis blows up here, I think he's got to make that adjustment. And thank you, SpeedGaming 2, for the big raid here. Coming in at the, I would say the end game, but it could be anyone's game here. Davis in Topher, our first runner into the final dungeon. Ragnarok looking for his missing item. We know it's the floater at the top of this dungeon. He's just got to get through this. So he's going to he finds the speed bump. Let's see if he has enough speed and momentum to just jump it on the first try. Katana 9 swings from the black belt, and no, we don't get on the first try. We got to go over the speed bump again. Speed bump is very, very thick and concretey. But at least coming out of this is an easy way out. So Ragnarok maybe going to continue with the walking grind here on the Bridge of Destiny. Maybe he's trying to dig up a war mech, which would be spicy. And Davis gets rubbed 8 through a ribbon, and there's the cure 4. And we have to reconsider this. We got to reconsider the strategy. This dive is not working out for us.
And not only that, but there's a 50-50 shot that Kraken is after this carry.
And this black belt does not have a ribbon on. Yeah, we got to make an adjustment, Davis. So there is Davis showing, he's newer to the community. He's, been around for a few months, but veteran move here.
Let's see a Masa from Matoya.
Nope, there's a cube. Cube block not far away though in the marsh entrance, and so Cardia Forest or Cube block is the Canary Castle area. So this is huge. And there's the TNT. So we're still looking for dwarves. So dwarves is either behind the cube block. Yeah, dwarves is behind the cube block. And Davis gonna be reminded once again that he does not have the key. And this is just gonna be a little bit more tilt. Alright, Davis gonna go to the Lefane entrance, turn in that bottle. And I think we're seeing like this is a distraction for Davis right now. Like we're doing something else while we're walking to Lefane. We can think about strategy. We can try to refocus, recalculate where everything is that we need to go instead of just beating our heads. Because when you're just beating your head against Topher bosses, your brain gets fuzzy and you just tunnel vision onto the single fight, like strategies in this fight. What can I do? As Ragnarok digs up his war mech, and And let's see if this is what he was looking for, or if this is gonna come back and bite him. Ian Lefane, which we knew. And heal 6, pretty good. Pretty good heal spell. And there's Ruse and Exit. So Ruse only learnable for the White Mage, and Warmech takes out the Black Belt. So this is we're already in Problem Town now. And the bad thing here is if Ragnarok doesn't survive this. Yeah, he ran away. That's a smart move. Run away, get out of here. You don't want to lose that walking grind. And
I'm not feeling too happy about this magic.
yeah, and Warmech Games said, don't you run away from me. Unfortunately, this is the only thing that Ragnarok could do, and now he's just trying to run from air. It's a very there's poetry there, and and he's buying the thief. Interesting. Buying the thief over a black mage over a fighter. It's interesting.
I didn't personally care for a lot of the black magic. You've got a katana +9. Not terrible.
Yeah. We just got another one. So we knew that there was the one in the Sharknado floor. But we just found the other one. So Cube and Dwarves. Dwarves have to give us the key. Because Marshlock has to have something. And we're still looking for Masa, Defense, and Power Gauntlet. So Adamant or TNT will get us the key. Dwarves will have the other one, that other piece of gear, and then Marshlock will have the other. And did we ever find Ice Cave Loop? I don't think we did. Where was
No, I don't.
So
believe
Oxiel's holding something, and Onrak Dungeon could be Ice Cave Loop or Dwarves, I guess. Yeah, so that's a little bit too much to unpack. And Davis is going to say, I hope this this new ninja I got can take some hits for me and get me through this.
After giving it some thought, I'm warming up to the ninja pick.
Yeah, glad one of us is. I think did we even see what the blurses were on the thief? Did he even check? I mean, he's literally just there to help funnel buffs into the red mage. So yeah, I think at this point, and we don't even have my brain to continue working. Like instant kills. Like if this were not Spellcrafter, we might have Brack. As Ragnarok walks past his loose floater once again, it just feels bad. Rot 6 coming out. I believe that's an Earth instant kill. And what do we do? Adjustments all around. We're going Saber 4. Okay. Keep dumping stuff into that red mage. We know if that red mage goes back to provoke it, it will have life magic. Katana swing 2 hits 480. That's good damage, but the fog not going to get it done for the black belt. Black belt goes down, and there's the cure 7. So it's when you have a nasty script like this, or nasty high percent boss that is sitting on a cure spell, it gets a DPS race. Like you either dump all your damage in and try to get the boss down before the Cure 7 or Cure 4 comes out, or you buff up and just try to survive until you see that Cure 4, Cure 7 come out, and then you just dump everything that you've been buffing. Unfortunately for Davis, the DPS race to the Cure didn't work. And now we're thinking big things.
Well, the only lock that we saw was restricted to the white mage. Is that correct?
Yeah, but he did not check level 2 black magic. Now, there's a big hit. 2 hits for 650. So trying to get an RNG loop going here. 8 hits, 8 damage is better than a crit. So, and he gets through. So I think that was either a loop or it was just very close. But now we're solo. Oh, we do have the life 7. Okay, cool.
But only 2 charges, so.
Mm-hmm. All right, so right side is the way to go with crit. All right, and we're already punching through. So if Davis can survive this, Lich, we might have a chance. We just gotta have like the perfect script on Chaos to allow us to get our buffs up and get set up for success.
Yeah, how great would this be? He's still got 1 life cast.
Mm-hmm. Toggle forward. All right. So Davis coming in to pull Chaos 2 hours 38 minutes. I appreciate everybody sticking with us. This has been a slog.
It's the anticipation that's building. Is Chaos going to roll something really nasty, or is he going to be a kitten?
So we're going to get fogs, and we're going to get that quick one. Quick one, very similar to a fast spell. It's actually a little bit better than fast. I believe it gives some attack power as well. Chaos throws out an ink. That's a good sign. 2 hits, 193, so we're already breaking through. We would like to have more. Ragnarok looking out the window, gonna throw all of his weapons out the window. Sky 3 just says, please let me through this seed, and throws everything out the window. Hopefully changing his, hoping to change his RNG there. We're leaning into this Red Mage Samurai, as Rock Solid's calling it. Temper 8's coming out. A punch here from the Black Belt. 3 at 728. We're getting, you know, when you got a potential 10,000 HP Chaos, that's a pretty good start.
I don't want to jinx it, but this Chaos looks like everything's coming up aces.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's still just the one big cure spell in the pool, and if Carrie landed it, this Chaos won't be able to heal the damage we're doing here. We just gotta hope that we don't start seeing nuclears and nukes coming out. And down goes the Black Belt. You hate to see it before the Cure 7 and the Heal 4 comes out. Davis putting in the work here, going for another, we're gonna swing and we're gonna throw out Meteor 7. 5 hits, 804. It's getting it done. Throwing out another, I'm sorry, it was a temp 8. Minied a little too quickly for me. The White Mage gets a punch in the face, and we're going to Cure 7. Keep that, just the turn order undone. That's 2,000 damage from that katana. We're getting there. 4 hits, 876. We're going to swing again. Hopefully, 7 hits, 1386. 175 damage. We need to heal. We need to heal. We get the turn order that time, but Chaos still punching real hard. Okay, so for Davis, we take a little breath. We know that we have a path through. Carry is our problem here. We buff up until Carry shows us the cure. Then we lay damage into her. Rub 8 coming out, gets rid of the ninja. That's fine. We buff up until we see Cure 7, and then we go ham. And then we know Lich is nothing, and then we can save our bigger buffs for Chaos. We know we have to prioritize keeping the health up, but there's nothing super nasty. We're just gonna start dumping damage, hopefully to get Carry down before we get to that Cure 7. We know Carry's got a good amount of HP. Ragnarok needs to walk back into this dungeon, needs to open boxes. I think Ragnarok is confused on the loose situation here, or is misremembering which boxes he's orphaned. And if you're just joining us, we're working with Spellcrafter flags here for this Irongol challenge between Ragnarok and Davis. Cure 7 is the cure for this seed. We know that because the Fiends have rolled it. So,
If I'm Davis, though, I'm feeling pretty good, even though I wiped out at that chaos. It's nothing like Tiamat, nothing like Kraken.
Yeah, and the Cure 4 is out of the pool. We don't know if the slow 2 equivalent, I don't know if there's a slow 2 equivalent for Spellcrafter on the boss scripts. But there we go, we're through. We've got 3 Light Warriors, we've got the majority of our buff spells, and we have a plan to take out this chaos. We're double checking, we got 3 quick ones, we got a handful of Saber 4s. We got to keep Davis, the White Mage, we got to keep that White Mage up. You see all those spell charges it has, we need all of that healing magic. And so I think, here we go, we're dumping fogs, we're going to spin the quicks, and I think if we're the White Mage, we're going to do the tempered. I would have probably gone a couple in those Ruse 6 casts just to get that White Mage a little slippery so it can survive back row punches.
I kind of like his plan, all offense, just go for it.
Yeah, it's just that if that Red Mage gets punched too hard and we lose it in the middle of combat, we don't have a good pivot. Like, the Black Belt was punching real hard, but Black Belt's just as squishy. So I'd like mixing in an occasional ruse for the White Wizard to help it survive so it can continue throwing out temp 8s, it can continue throwing out cure 7s. But we're going to keep the fogs rolling in, and we're going to keep the locks rolling. Okay. And I think soon we're going to see a switch to healing magic, but Saber 4, Lock 3's coming in. Another fog on the Black Belt. We're finally seeing some fights come out. And Temp 8, once again, and Davis takes another big punch there on the White Wizard. So good turnover there. Punch from the Black Belt. 7 hits, 737. That little katana doing about 100 damage, and there's a big swing from that katana. So now we know we just got to lean into it, get it swinging, and we know we did about 4,500 damage the first time through. That Chaos should fall soon, unless he's got 10,000. Oh, there's a punch. The ninja does his job, takes the hit. 8 hits, 1,000 damage from the Black Belt. Katana swing, 8 hits, so nearly 3,000 damage, nearly 4,000 damage in 2 rounds. If this Chaos has max HP, we're halfway through it at this point. 8, there's another 2,000 damage, there's another 1,000 damage. Davis takes down Chaos. 2 hours, 45 minutes, 1 second. Heck of an adjustment from Davis, heck of a finish. Get those GGs in chat, and we're going to see if Davis wants to come in and talk to us real quick.
Yes, chat noted, excellent adjustment by Davis at the end. I mean, he got in the air at 2:30, found Temple of Fiends right away, was able to adjust, get through the end of that.
Yeah, Davis is going to join us for an interview, so we'll make sure he gets an invite. And Ragnarok Ragnarok hasn't thrown. Oh, there's Ragnarok throwing in the towel. So GG's to Ragnarok. That was a heck of a seed for him. But we're joined by Davis. Man, I feel like I owe you a hug.
Every single time you calm my races, my Irongols, that's how you greet me when I walk into the booth. Just like, it always goes bad. But no, like, actually, that, as awful as that was, I felt like the fact that I was making slow and steady progress like didn't make it as bad as it seemed. Like, yes, it was like a trudge through like thick cement, but at least I was moving forward.
Yeah. So there were a couple things that I made. We're gonna try to get through the post-game interview a little bit quickly. I know that there's a bunch of stuff going on with SpeedGaming, and I don't think any of us anticipated this seed to be as trolly as it was.
No, I didn't at all.
Ragnarok not gonna join us for interviews past his bedtime. I can respect that. So, initial thoughts. How did you like running solo character recruit through the seed?
So there was a lot of thought that went into that because, you know, throughout the whole thing, it was like, okay, should I grab, should I grab the fighter just to have somebody else take damage? Should I take another white mage just to have another white mage? I went into this knowing I needed a black belt. So I was always going to have one empty spot for a black belt. I basically came to the decision, if I get a fighter, I'm not going to have any extra spells, and the encounter table is garbage. So I'm just going to get levels on this white mage until I find a town that has a black belt, or maybe a black mage or something like that, and I'll go from there. So it worked most of the time simply because of the encounter manips, but like you did see me hit that point where I like,
yeah,
okay, I bounced 5 times. I'm just gonna go somewhere else now.
Yeah. Was there any thought into buying the fighter just to see what the blurses were?
It's funny you said that, because when I bought the black belt, that's when I realized, oh shoot, I could just hire the party, then check the bonus and malice, and then like reset out if I don't like it. Yeah. So I actually didn't realize that until after I'd already passed the fighter. So when I got the red mage, like I actually sat down, looked at the bonus and malice, and tried to decide whether or not I was keeping it. And yeah. I just completely forgot for the fighter.
So before you started, you said you had a vision for a party with a black belt. When you saw Force White Mage at the start, what was your ideal party at that moment? Was it Black Belt Rainbow? Was it Black Belt Oreo? What was it? I'm just curious.
It was Black Belt and something else that can help. Is basically what it was. Like especially when you deal with bonus and malice, like classes mean something completely different. So like the white mage was a fighter and damage, and I picked up that early like copper +8 and silver +8. Yeah. So once I had the silver +8, I had fighter damage. It was like, okay, I don't want to waste the spot. I'd rather keep that open just in case.
Yeah.
So the only thing I knew was black belt. I didn't know anything else going in, and I figured I'd just try to make it work as I go. And the fact that we just had garbage white magic in the first couple towns.
Yeah, I had one follow-up question. I was gonna pass to Deadpools to ask you some questions. Level of familiarity with Spellcrafter, scale of 1 to 10.
1. Definitely. Like yeah. I have Wote's Spellcrafter FAQ notepad in front of me. Yeah. Like I don't run Spellcrafter because I don't like it.
Now
it's just like a personal preference.
Now let me one more follow-up. A genius move that we saw Ragnarok doing. Did you know that in Spellcrafter, with shop information on, you could push select and it'll tell you what the spells do?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, just chose not to do it.
Yeah, I did it for one of them. It was like it was like the one that does like elemental resistance for like fire. Yeah. It took me a while to read it because I was tired.
Yeah, the AMGs,
Which one did I miss?
Well, no, I just didn't. I don't. Well, you never went back for level 2 magic for the red mage, I don't think, in Provoca. No. But I think there was something decent there in black magic. I think it was in Invis 7,
okay.
Which would have like completely changed your Topher approach. But I'm gonna pass the mic to Deadpools because I know he's got some questions for you too.
Hey, Davis, great race, by the way. GG.
Thank you.
I want to know what you were feeling when you went back and opened up the loose floater.
Okay, because I went into this saying it is a shard hunt, and we have one loose item. I'm gonna pray that loose item doesn't become an issue, and so that's why after I was in shard go mode, I was still checking chests, because in the back of my head I was like, hey, there's a loose item somewhere. It was the point when I hit the last incentive turn in, and it was the tail. And I was like, okay, that means it has to be an orphan chest.
Yeah.
Where did I orphan a chest? And so that was what was going through my mind. And the fact that it was a chest I had tried, I want to say 3 different times to try to open and got bounced out all 3 times, just kind of was icing on the cake. So to see that it was that chest, which happened to be floater at the very end of the game, which is kind of like just a beautiful dog pile right now, there as a present.
With the floater placement being top floor of a dungeon that was available immediately, at what point did you ever feel behind in this?
I was going to say, that's when panic happened too.
Yeah.
Especially in this flag set, there's 2 different approaches to it. Especially entrance and floor in general, but especially a difficult entrance and floor. One of which is to try to find a spot to just hunker down, gain some levels, and then try to dive deep in whatever dungeon's immediately available. And the other is to survey all of the dungeons. Yes, Danny, by the way, to answer your question. To survey all of the different entrances and just kind of see what's available. And especially since we have tavern mode on with what's it called? The rare weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I could bounce out of ice 3 or 4 times, but I can still just try to go to Crescent Lake, see if they have a good item that can get me an edge above or whatever. So I did the try to search and go shallow, especially with that run off the hard reset. And it happened to work out. But honestly, the whole time you're running, you're wondering if that one next floor that you orphaned was the floor that had the floater or progression. So I was in panic mode until Ragnarok asked in chat if the seed was broken, and I was like, okay, because it was and I knew he orphaned the floater in Armory at that point.
Yeah.
But I think I was already heading towards my last Topher dive at that point. But,
another question. Now, this was a relatively trolly seed. What kind of advice would you have for people who want to run something similar?
Don't. No, I mean, this is kind of why I run hardcore Irongol. Just because I love this kind of stuff. This is what gets me excited about FFR, and we don't often run. We don't often run these kinds of seeds. If I was to give advice, it would be, and I Caleb knows. When I first started in FFR, I was never forfeit, always go through to the end. You're gonna learn something, dang it.
Never give up, never surrender.
And now on hardcore, sometimes I'm like, please someone finish so I can forfeit. But no, that. If you want to get into this level of difficulty, you really have to bash your head against the wall for a while and figure out how to get around it. The biggest time was honestly me doing preparing for my Irongol race against Spellzap. because I did a similar flag set with just entrance and floor, really high scaling. And I did a couple practice runs with people in the community, and everyone spent like an hour and a half trying to get out of the inner C. And just in training that over and over again, eventually learning the tips and the tricks and things to be looking for, it made it less daunting when I run into one of these. And just the more experience you have doing awful things, the better you are at finishing them. So
it feels bad, but it doesn't feel as bad once you do it.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier about I felt I was making progression, so that felt good, even though it was very, very slow. Like losing the Gershok grind sucked. Having the deep dive to split C to split Marsh to another deep dive to Kraken was terrifying. But it was one of those, you just kind of deal with the punches, try to deal, like you saw me burn encounters on the Marsh split before diving into to Sky 2. Like little things that just happened to work out tonight. That usually I make mistakes and stuff on things like that, but tonight I actually did a decent job with it.
Yeah, you did well. You earned this win. There's a heck of a race, Davis. 3-hour broadcast. I think it's time we give SpeedGaming their channel back. They got a lot of rando action going on right now. SpeedGaming 2 having a Link to the Past league race if you're interested in watching that kind of thing. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Deadpool's Newcoms stepping up and did a great job, dude. I'm not just saying that. I know Jack gave me a hard time because that I'm just giving him lip service because he did a good job doing Newcoms, but no, you really did. I hope to hear you do broadcasts more often. Thank you to Danny and Rock Solid for doing the tracking. We'll pass it to Davis for final thoughts, and then Deadpool, she can take us home, man.
Yeah, definitely big shout out to Ragnarok too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like him bouncing back into work stuff has kind of kept him from playing, and just to see him back out. Honored to be challenged. It was one crazy flag set that had a really rough seed. Caleb will remember this, but
I'll race these flags with you.
No, I mean,
consider an
we'll set
Iron
it
Gold
up.
challenge, man. Consider Iron Gold challenge, me and you.
Yeah, I mean, I was referencing the fact that you rolled this pile of garbage, but I'll take you.
We'll get Danny to roll this one. We can get
we'll get some nuke arachnids. Oh, sorry, what was it? Meteor 7 arachnids, or whatever spellcaster does.
We'll get Deadpool's back on the mic and get him in here with somebody else. And
well, but to kind of piggyback on Caleb, and I mean this sincerely as a commentator as well. The questions that you asked, just kind of, you know what you're doing. So I love the questions. Again, this game is hard. That's part of why I love it. Thank you to SpeedGaming. Thank you to you guys for watching. Thank you to everybody on the broadcast team. And well, until the next time we do a run.
Yeah, I want to step in and say thank you to Davis, Ragnarok. This was a great race to watch. Edge of my seat for most of it. I mean, it may have been a hot garbage troll seed, but you made it interesting. Thank you to Caleb, Danny, Rock Solid, all the people at SpeedGaming. If you're interested in joining and taking a look at what Final Fantasy Randomizer can do for you, come join us on the Discord.
You can find that link at the FinalFantasyRandomizer.com if you're watching us on YouTube. If not, there's a link in chat. So, have a good night, everybody.